Dragons were looking for a savior when Aaron Garcia returned.
No quarterback in Arena League history had the type of year Garcia had last year. But 2002 has been a different story. At 2-10, not even the league MVP could save New York's season. So now it's about playing for pride for John Gregory of the Dragons and the defending Arena Bowl champion Grand Rapids Rampage and Clint Dolezal come to the Coliseum tonight. The Rampage sport the top offense in the league. A tall order for the Dragons. And the Rampage next. Coliseum, where tonight we bring you Arena Football League action in prime time on Fox Sports Net as the New York Dragons play host to the Grand Rapids Rampage. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Wischusen alongside Greg Buttle. Happy you could be with us tonight here on Fox Sports Net. Once again, Greg, the New York Dragons, as hot as the temperature has been in New York City over the past couple of months, it's been that much colder for the New York Dragons. A 2-10 out of the playoff race, really been a disappointing season.
Very disappointing. And of course, when you're first and last-ins, and you know what last-ins are, they're last in total offense, last in pass offense, last in scoring, last in passer rating. They're last in a lot. They're first in one category, though, and that's losses, and that doesn't add up to playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs will be a missed year for the New York Dragons. As it turns out, it has been a disappointing season, although the head coach, John Gregory, told us that he and his team still holding their heads high.
The thing I'm proud of is this team has played hard all year. We haven't had a team that's got into a bickering war with the losing that we've had, and actually I'm pretty darn proud of them. They're very hard workers, and they're playing for pride right now. The season hasn't gone the way we wanted to, and I think that if we can win the last two ball games, we can leave here on a winning note and get ourselves on the right track for next year.
Now, if John Gregory and the New York Dragons are looking for bright spots coming out of this season, Greg, they may be few and far between, but Mike Furry certainly qualifies as a big one.
Well, I'll tell you what, every team, even 2-10 teams, have bright spots, because without a bright spot, baby, you don't get highlight films. Here you go. Here's Furry, Mr. Athlete on this team. He makes it happen everywhere. Catching the ball, running. He's a great defender. He was the Iron Man twice this week. In fact, this year, he did it 2 weeks in 5 weeks. And what happened was, you hear his totals, but for those 2 games, he had 17 receptions, 275 yards, 6 TDs, 3 interceptions, a forced fumble, 6 deflections, and 7 tackles. The guy really does it all for this team.
Well, he is a rookie, not only up for the Rookie of the Year award, but the Iron Man of the Year award. It has been a tremendous season for Mike Furry. One difficulty he's had to get over, catching footballs this year from 4 different quarterbacks.
Well, I think that definitely has a huge factor in it. Like you said, 4 different quarterbacks this year that I've seen or I've been in the huddle with doesn't make it easy. And, obviously with the loss of Aaron, it put a big damper in going into preseason. But a lot of guys just, you just needed to shrug that off and realize, here's who we're with, here's who we're going to go to battle with. And a lot of guys just didn't accept that yet. And Aaron came, and it was a little bit too late. Hopefully, wish he was here earlier, the way people are trying to act around here now. But so now we're just, hopefully we'll have him back next year for sure, and then we'll go into next year with Aaron and just be ready to go.
Now, as is often the case in the Arena League, many of these games come down to a battle of the quarterbacks, and we could have a good one tonight. Aaron Garcia for the New York Dragons put up unheard-of numbers last year in an MVP season, but Clint Dolezal for the Grand Rapids Rampage has put up some impressive career numbers of his own.
He really has done some impressive numbers. The only difference between these guys is Dolezal is 6'5", and Garcia is 6'1". Here you got a little sample of a guy that can throw it the length of the field and just land it right down there in the guy's hands, and he does it all the time. He's got great touch, he's got great vision, and he is doing something special for this Grand Rapids, Michigan team. Their defense is the problem.
Those highlights from last year in the Arena Bowl, these numbers, the career numbers for both players. For Aaron Garcia, he is 4th overall in yards, 3rd in his career in touchdown passes. Dolezal, 5th overall in yards, 4th in touchdown passes. An impressive matchup, although John Gregory told us Aaron Garcia still not quite himself.
I think Aaron is outstanding. He's been a great player for us, and he's still a little bit off track with our receivers. It seems that we just never get a time when we can really spend as much time as we need to get him in sync. But and again, because of injuries and rotating receivers all the time and that kind of thing. Dozell is just the same kind of quarterback. He's very accurate. He likes to throw the ball quick. He's a tough guy and can put points on the board.
Now, Greg, not to imply that at any point during your career you ever would have been in this position before, but what is a coach that knows the playoffs are not going to happen for his team telling this group right now if you're John Gregory in the Dragons locker room?
Well, John Gregory is like any other head coach in the NFL or any other league. He's mixing up a little bit of lies with a little bit of truth. In other words, how do you get a coach that's a team guy to get guys to play individually? And that takes him away from a team game. Every player out there knows his job is on the line. He's got to play well. There's pride involved in it, but I will tell you something. What happens is they always get out of a team game to get themselves back into the good graces of the coach. Very, very difficult for a head coach in any league to get their team to play as a team at this time.
Well, we'll see if some of these Dragons come out and play with some pride tonight. Coming up next, we'll have the starting lineups and the kickoff from the Coliseum. The New York Dragons and the Grand Rapids Rampage. Coming up next, Mike Furry, his finale on Fox Sports Net. Back at the Coliseum, Bob Wischusen and Greg Buttle upstairs. Downstairs, the third member of our broadcast team, Carl Reuter. Carl?
All right, Bob, you know, you and Greg alluded to in the pregame all about Aaron Garcia, the trials and tribulations. Well, when he went off to sign with the San Francisco 49ers, when he left, Coach John Gregory took a lot of the things out of the system, a lot of plays, some formations. When Aaron Garcia came back, he went to John Gregory and said, I'd like to have a lot of those things that you took out back in that rotation. That's one of the things that he's talking about when he says the simple word of timing. The timing is not all there. He said you could have a world of experience like Garcia does in the AFL, but without timing, without able to work with the same guys he worked with last year, in particular Kevin Swain, it's just not going to happen overnight. Bob?
Carl, thanks very much. Greg, your thoughts on what Carl just said?
Well, my thoughts are he happens to be right. I mean, even though, you know, as little football as Carl's played, he really understands. And I have to tell you something. Timing is spectacular when it comes to quarterbacks and wide receivers. And tonight, you're going to see some fireworks. This is July 4th all over again, folks. You're going to have Dozell to Compton or Marshall and Garcia to Furry or Papin. I can't wait.
Part of the reason we always seem to have fireworks in the Arena Football League are the rules of the game. And your favorite, I know, you are not able to punt in this league. There's nothing better than that, but 8 players aside, offense and defense, players play Ironman football, 1 receiver in motion at the snap. Oftentimes that opens up the field. And of course, on 4th down, you either have to go for it or kick a field goal.
Right, and don't think that they're going to kick a field goal from their end zone. They've done it many times. But at the bottom of your screen, folks, punting is illegal. One less sissy to worry about.
Clay Rush set to kick off. Willis Marshall, who right now is 7th in the Arena League in all-purpose yards. 1st for this Grand Rapids team at nearly 130 yards a game. He's back deep to receive. And we are set for football at the Coliseum. Glad you can be with us on Fox Sports Net. Rush, high, end over ender, into the soft portion of the net. Charity hop for Marshall, who comes out and has room to the 15, out to the 18-yard line. Mike Furry brought him down. Good field position to start for the Grand Rapids Rampage and Clint Dozell. We detailed what he has done so far in his career in the pregame show, and he has been tremendous. Our Newsday starting lineups brought to you by Newsday. It's where you live. Dozell flanked by Terrell Shaw, Gary Compton, and Willis Marshall. Chris Ryan in the backfield, Israel Raybon, Joe Wiley, and Corey Mayfield up front. So far this season, Dozell, 3,265 passing yards. That leads the Arena League. And he will throw on 1st down. Setting up the screen, Chris Ryan rumbling into Dragons territory for a 1st down. Down to the New York 20-yard line. That's a 300-pound fullback in Chris Ryan. Checking the Dragons' starting defensive lineup, Donvitas Franklin, who may give Mike Furry some serious run for his money in terms of Rookie of the Year. He's a defensive specialist, along with Shea Showers, Mike Furry at defensive back. The linebackers, Jeff Turner, back from injury, and Chinachibi. Brad Wynn, Matt Steeple, and Robert Stewart are up front. Already 1st and 10 for Dozell at the Dragons' 20-yard line. Terrell Shaw in motion at the snap. Trips to the left as Dolezal drops. To the near side, Gary Compton. Hit at about the 13-yard line and knocked out of bounds by Shea Showers. Good for about 5 yards, maybe 6 on first down. That'll be second down and short.
And Compton was brought in the beginning of the season when Baker got hurt. And Baker was one of those great all-around players. They bring Compton, who was supposedly, getting the cobwebs all over him. They bring him back in, and they made him a star again. But again, if you've got a Dolezal as a quarterback, you could probably make you a star, Bob.
Well, Gary Compton, who just made that catch, 700 career catches coming into tonight. Over 9,800 receiving yards, both third all-time in Arena League history. Again, Shaw in motion. This time the pitch out. Running left, Ryan. Bumbling and stumbling down to about the 12-yard line. Hit hard by Stewart and Nate Bell as well. Marcus Owen in on the tackle for New York. Shy of a first down by about a yard. It'll be third and short.
And that was a good play by Marcus Owen. Marcus Owen's playing that right end. And you're going to see here, he gets outside, he gets doubled, he comes outside, makes a hit. But he had a blocker on him, and he was unable to wrap his hands. That's a big deal. If you're making tackles, got to wrap the hands.
Third down and a short one. 2.5 minutes into the first quarter. Scoreless here at the Coliseum. The pitch out, running right, Ryan. Hit at the 10. Powers forward for the first down, though. Down to about the 7-yard line. Rodney Filer made the tackle for New York, but a rushing first down gained by Chris Ryan.
That's like trying to tackle a Volkswagen, that guy. 6'2", 300 pounds.
Well, he has already added to his rushing total so far this year. Came into tonight leading the team with 106 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns. And it's odd. This is a league where if you go over the century mark for the season in rushing, you're doing a pretty good job.
Doing an excellent job, like a Jim Brown type of job.
3 wide receivers to the near side. Gary Compton in motion. Dolezal, quick pop pass. It's bobbled up in the air, caught by the offensive lineman, making the tackle for New York inside the 5-yard line. Once again was Rodney Filer, but alert on the play, Lucas Yarnell making the catch for Grand Rapids.
And that's one of those plays that happened to 2 and 10 teams. They have a catch, the guy has it, whoop, pops up in the air, bingo, the other team catches the ball. That always happens, and you say, oh no, woe is me. Here we go again.
It has been that kind of season for the New York Dragons. If you're going to the Arena Bowl, usually that turns out to be an interception. First and goal, handoff to Ryan. Hit at the 1, dropped at the 1. Marcus Owen making the tackle. They call Marcus Owen Snowball. You can see why.
Snowball.
That's his nickname. I didn't make it up.
Jeez. He keeps rolling. He goes, they had 3 guys on his back, on his legs. Get him down. I'll tell you right now, he's going in the huddle. He's going, he's breathing hard. It's hot in here. Anyone 300 pounds got to be a little tired right now.
The rookie from Kansas tipping the scales at a modest 325.
He's lying.
Second down and goal from the 1. Handoff this time to Marshall. Touchdown. A rushing touchdown for Willis Marshall. And on the first possession of the game for Grand Rapids, they strike for 6. And this is usually how this offense plays. The Grand Rapids Rampage averaging nearly 300 yards per game. That is first overall in the Arena League in total offense, and they average over 53 points a game, 4th best in the league. They are a very efficient attack.
They're a very efficient attack, and again, it goes back to the quarterback, but let's not forget the offensive line, which really controls everything and makes the quarterback as good as he is.
Brian Goins on to attempt the extra point, and it is good. 9:49 to go in the first quarter. The Rampage already with a quick 7-0 lead. New York with their first offensive possession when we return. Just over 5 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Bob Wischusen and Greg Buttle here at the Coliseum, and already a 7-0 lead for Grand Rapids.
Right, and this touchdown, you're going to see what happens is they start so deep in the backfield that they get a lot of defensive movement. The offensive philosophy is this: either you shove the Volkswagen in there right away, or you get that little guy in the Ferrari and you let everyone move and you let him cut it back for a touchdown. That was the Ferrari going in.
First rushing touchdown this season for Willis Marshall. And now set to kick off, Brian Goins for Grand Rapids. Of course, back deep to receive, Steve Pappen for New York. Pappen having a magnificent all-around season. And keeps this one in play off the rebound net, brings it out to the 10. Breaking a tackle and finally dragged down at about the 12-yard line. And that is where New York will start on offense. Joe Wiley made the special teams tackle for Grand Rapids. The starting lineup brought to you by Newsday. It's where you live. Let's check the New York Dragons on offense. Aaron Garcia, of course, last week against New Jersey, threw for 294 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That in a loss. Steve Pappin, Todd Doxson, Mike Furry. Those are the wideouts. Chinichibi in the backfield. Stewart, Steeple, and Wynn up front.
Okay.
1st and 10 for New York. Garcia to go airborne. Over the middle. Wide open is Pappin. East to midfield and inside Grand Rapids territory. Tackled by Jason Waters as we take a look at the defensive alignment for Grand Rapids. Tawambi Settles, the rookie out of Duke. He is the defensive specialist and a good one. Jason Waters also a defensive specialist. Kenyatte Morgan, Michael Baker, and Chris Ryan in the defensive backfield. Corey Mayfield, Joe Wiley, and Israel Raybon up front.
I wonder if the other cornerback's name Suze. Settles and Suze.
Back goes Garcia. He wants it all. Furry, incomplete. Tackled on the play by Willis Marshall. The ball thrown slightly behind Furry, but a ball he should have had?
Well, I agree. He should have had it, but you're going to see, I think the ball slips out of his hands. That's why it's thrown behind him. He just slips it out. It wobbles a little, but he should have had the ball because he had the guy beat by a mile. But, hey, listen, you gotta pay attention to the ball when it's behind you. It's easy to catch it in your face.
2nd down and 10. Furry in motion at the snap. Garcia. Wobbly pass, knocked down by Pappin. Garcia hit as he threw, and if Pappin didn't deflect that football, Willis Marshall would have had an easy interception.
That's when Pappin turned into a defender and did the right thing. Knew he couldn't really catch it and knocked it out of the sky so the other guy didn't intercept it.
Although Mike Furry on that play was wide open. And we get another look. And Greg, he has his man beat. That's 6. Garcia can find him.
Garcia can't find it because he's got a bunch of inhumanity in front of him.
3rd down and 10. Garcia hit in the backfield and dropped. Sacked by Travis McDonald. About a 7-yard loss. It'll set up 4th down, and Clay Rush on the field, and that has been an Achilles heel all season long for the Dragons. They have not provided good pass protection for their quarterbacks, and on the flip side, they have not gotten much of a rush on opposing quarterbacks.
That's right. This is one of those last in, folks. They're last in sacks given up. I mean, they've gotten sacked so many times, and I think it's a product, by the way, of the offensive line not working with one quarterback throughout the year.
47-yard field goal attempt for Clay Rush. It's on the way. Plenty of leg. It's good. Clay Rush with a bomb, getting the Dragons on the board. It's now 7-3 with 6:51 to go here in the first quarter on Fox Sports Net. Bob Wischusen and Greg Buttle back at the Nassau Coliseum. Grand Rapids with a 7-3 lead over the New York Dragons just past the midway point here in the first quarter. And overall, Greg, a battle of the quarterbacks thus far. Clint Dolezel 3 for 3 on his first drive. Aaron Garcia 1 of 4.
Yeah, I tell you what, you need a little better protection on that offensive line to go 3 for 3.
Willis Marshall out of the end zone to the 10. Filer hits him at the 13-yard line and knocks him down there.
You know, if you put those statistics together, if you added Aaron Garcia to Dolezel, you'd have Dan Marino. You'd have 40,000 yards, you'd have a lot of touchdowns, a lot of completions, and a heck of a quarterback rating.
6:42 to go here in the first quarter. Clint Dolezel was magnificent in his first drive, 3 of 3 for 26 yards. And here's a heck of a stat. He's actually 3 different times in his Arena Football League career reached the 80 touchdown plateau for a season. That's only been done 7 times in the league ever. He's done it 3 times. Aaron Garcia's done it twice.
Or the other 2.
Deflected ball by Chinichibi at the line, knocked down. It'll be 2nd down and 10. But 5 of the best seasons ever had in Arena Football League history by any quarterback are represented by the 2 quarterbacks we have in the building tonight.
That's right. Achibi does a great job here. Plays the block down low. The offensive tackle should have cut him like a big redwood, but he wasn't able because Achibi played him off with his hands. Good play by Achibi. And getting back to those touchdowns, that's what? That's 80 touchdowns is 5-6 touchdowns a game, right?
Close to 6 per game.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
2nd down and 10. Some confusion for Grand Rapids. Play clock down to 1. It goes to 0. They didn't get a timeout off, so that'll be a delay of game. The flag thrown by the back judge. And it will be 2nd down and 15.
You know what? That's one of those penalties that in the Arena League mean nothing, because what are they going to lose? 5 yards? You know, they don't lose it down. They lose 5 yards. So what? The field's only 50 yards long. I would never call a timeout.
Five-yard penalty will set up 2nd down and 15 for Grand Rapids back at their own 8-yard line.
In fact, I shoot the quarterback if he called timeout.
You would be a heck of a taskmaster to have as a coach. Dolezal, deep right sideline, the pass caught at midfield. Terrell Shaw made the catch, and he paid the price. Donvitas Franklin slamming him into the sideboards, but that's good enough for a 1st down, a gain of 17 on 2nd down.
They put a new helmet logo in the Computer Associates logo. That's for sure, right in the middle. That's a bullseye. That's what I love. That's what I love about this game. Jam him into the sideboards. Throw him over the sideboards.
Donvitas Franklin has had a heck of a rookie campaign for New York. 1st and 10 at midfield. Michael Baker in motion at the snap. In and out of the hands of Kenyatte Morgan, incomplete.
You know, if you throw a ball into the stands or kick it in the stands, you can go home with it. You know, if you tackle a player into the stands, can you take the player home? That'd be interesting.
Well, let's just put a fan, hypothetically, in that situation. You get tackled in the stands. Who's taking you home? Who would want to take you home?
I try to get tackled in the end zone in that dark area back down there. That's where you go, you know, with the cheerleaders. That's the idea.
I know your motivation. 2nd down and 10. Ball at midfield. Dolezal with Terrell Shaw in motion. Straight drop. They set the screen up. And it's successful. A gain of about 5 yards. Rod Manuel, the tight end, makes the catch. Jason Maxwell, Sean Tremblay in on the tackle for New York. It'll be 3rd down at about 4.
Sean Tremblay reads it good. He's upfield. He goes past the guy, throws it. He comes back to make the tackle, spins out, still assists on the tackle. Very good play. There's the screen. Let me go get him. Just missed it out. Good play by number 97, Ron Manuel.
3rd down and 4. Play clock down to 4. Dolezal quickly out to the right. Plenty good enough for a 1st down. Catch made by Terrell Shaw down to about the 11-yard line of New York.
Well, that's a real close play to being a bad play by Donvitas Franklin. He comes up, the ball's thrown. Now it's already a 1st down, and he's got to come up under control knowing that it will be a 1st down. And if you miss the tackle, that's going to be a touchdown. You got to come under control. There he just tripped him up and saved the touchdown.
Closing moments of the 1st quarter. 3 minutes remain. Running time in Arena Football League action until we reach the last minute of either half. Michael Baker in motion. Dolezal, quick slant, the catch made. Kenyatte Morgan, he fumbles the football. Chinichibi has it, and now the officials say down by contact. Again, it's been that kind of year for New York. A hair away from creating a turnover inside the red zone, and instead, it's a gain of 4 on 1st down.
Those are always a tough play because you don't know if he's got control of the ball or not. That's a fumble.
No question.
He had no control of that ball going down. Quick, call a timeout.
It's either an incompletion or a fumble. As we get another look, there's no doubt that ball came out before he was down by contact. And a penalty as flags fly, jumping into the offensive backfield. A little bit early for the New York Dragons.
I think he was drawn off sides, but far be it from me to make that call.
Number 55, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Elliot Fortune, the guilty party. Gene Hartlib, the referee. Rick Lowe, the umpire. Rod Pearson, the head linesman. Mark Gilchrist is the line judge. The back judge is Scott Helverson. 5-yard penalty as Fortune. Turns out he wasn't drawn off, and with 2 minutes to go now here in the 1st quarter, the ball inside the 5-yard line at the 4. Grand Rapids can pick up a 1st down if they get inside the 2. quick out on the right-hand side, going nowhere is Michael Baker. Stood up immediately. Shea Showers making the tackle, and a nice play it was for New York. And that is a gain of maybe a half yard. It'll be third down and short.
That's one of those play-the-play kind of routines. They know going inside that 5-yard line what short yardage plays that Grand Rapids is going to come off with. And so the minute you recognize that play, you go. And Showers, I'm sure, had seen that play before, made the right move at the right time, and stopped it cold.
Trips to the left. This time Terrell Shaw, the motion man. On third down and 2. Dozel lobbing one back to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Shaw. Donvitas Franklin there, step for step. Dozel went into the end zone and had something to say to the back judge. He wanted a flag thrown on that play. But the Dragons defense holds, and that will force a field goal attempt.
That's right. And Jason Maxwell down there, he also helped out because he's dropping off on the weak side. He's got to throw it over one guy. Very good play by both Donvitas Franklin and Jason Maxwell, playing the defense correctly.
So a 19-yard field goal attempt for Brian Goins. On the way. No good. Hits the upright, and that's a live ball. Donvitas Franklin trying to keep the ball out of the end zone, and New York downs it at the 1-yard line. Steve Pappen jumping on top of the loose ball as it went hard off the upright. And New York will have the football at their own 1-yard line. 26 seconds remain in the first quarter, but boy, did they dodge a bullet as Grand Rapids comes away empty altogether.
Well, the miss here really wasn't the hold. It was the fact that the right defensive end, I didn't see who it was, got down there and made him really get up there and kick it. He just hooked the ball. But you know what, here, folks, you're going to see, it looks like a good hold to me. Right down there. He's got some pressure, but he shouldn't be looking at the pressure anyway.
Garcia quickly out of the end zone to Maxwell. Stutter stepping tackles at the 6-yard line. Several flags down on the play with 7 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the Dragons say this penalty is going to be against Grand Rapids. Gene Hartlib, the referee. And the Dragons are right.
They out of the box.
Here's the call.
Illegal defense. Number 55 for stacking. 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
See that? Those linebackers were cheating again. You know, they're out of that little square box. Now, don't get out of that box. Boy, that's a some rule to start scoring. Here you go. You can see that they're lining up late. Look at that. No wonder that they got called for it.
So the Dragons with the quick snap forcing the 5-yard penalty. Heads up by Aaron Garcia and the New York offense, and that will do it for the first quarter. So Grand Rapids was knocking on the door twice, but only got in the end zone once. They have a 7-3 lead after 1. The first quarter in the books. Our scoring summary brought to you by Computer Associates, the software that manages e-business. Well, it was Willis Marshall from 1 yard away. That gave Grand Rapids a 7-0 lead, but Clay Rush with a 47-yard field goal, which is not all that easy to do, considering how narrow the uprights are in Arena League football. Well, that put New York on the board, 7-3, as we start the second quarter.
Yeah, 8 feet wide. That's tough to hit a ball through there from 47 yards.
First and 10 for New York at their own 6. Quick pop pass to Pappen, out to the 15-yard line. Right sideline, he's to midfield. Knocked down inside Grand Rapids territory at the 18-yard line. Finally upended by Jason Waters and Willis Marshall. And New York knocking on the door already.
You know, that's why this game is so exciting. From anywhere on the field, a short pass, a long pass. You get guys with quick feet. They can do a lot of different things, make people miss, get up the field, and now you're ready to score again right away. That's what's exciting about this game.
First and 10 at the 18. Furry in motion from left to right, coming into your picture now. Garcia, straight drop. In trouble, looking for Furry, wide open in the end zone, touchdown. Mike Furry simply got lost in the defensive secondary for Grand Rapids. Garcia bought some time and found him, and New York takes the lead.
We said there's going to be some fireworks, and these guys can throw the ball, and those guys can catch it. The only thing they can't do is stop it. You know, this could be a good scoring game here.
How does he get this wide open, Greg?
He gets him wide open because he pump faked to the guy on the right. And the safety should have been still in the middle. He thought that the wide receiver on the right was going to go long.
Clay Rush's extra point is good. A quick strike, 18-yard touchdown pass from Aaron Garcia to Mike Furry, putting New York up. Dragons with a 10-7 lead, 13.5 to go before halftime. Garcia to Furry, 18 yards out.
Furry to 18 yards out. He looked the safety off. The safety thought that the corner was going long, and Furry wide open in the middle. Can't beat that one.
Willis Marshall has the ball go right under the lower upright of the rebound net. That's a touchback. You can't place it much better if you're Clay Rush. I'm not sure if that was his intention, but that touchback puts the ball at the 5-yard line and gives Grand Rapids the long field that they now have to work with. And tonight after the game, stay tuned for a special edition of the Best Damn Sports Show, period. That's coming up following Arena Football right here on Fox Sports Net. The Best Damn Sports Show, period, as soon as we wrap up the Dragons and the Rampage.
Can you say damn?
Just did. Twice. 13 minutes to go before halftime. Dolezal to drop. Pump fake. Has time to the near side. Compton wide open. And he gets out to the 20-yard line. Very quickly, Grand Rapids out of the shadow of their own goalposts. Gain of 15 yards. It'll be first down.
Yeah, now this was a pretty good play. Defensive coverage was there. They had everybody covered. Compton's the release guy. He's the guy that's going to just stay open at 6 yards. Good play now. Bulldog him right down.
Roughing the pass. On the defense, number 66. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Marcus Owen guilty of roughing the passer behind the play. 15 more yards tacked on. Or rather 10 more yards, excuse me, tacked on. So that turns out, after all is said and done, to be a 26-yard play for Grand Rapids. They go from their 5 to the New York 19.
Yeah, all those defensive players were saying the only thing wrong with that play was that he got caught.
It sounds like a bitter defensive player to me.
We are.
If the shoe fits. As Dolezal drops. Lobbing one. Back corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Just off the fingertips of Terrell Shaw. Shea Showers driving him into the sideboards in the back of the end zone.
You know, it's a funny thing. You know, this is why defensive players always want to get the quarterback. What happens is you're going to go into your rush, you do everything so hard, you fight the other big guys. And what happens is you get in there, you scrape, and you're held all the time and dragged down to the dirt. Here, it's the carpet, but to the dirt.
Terrell Shaw, the motion man, as Dolezal drops over the middle. He makes the catch at the 5-yard line, down to about the 4-yard line. Terrell Shaw, who was the MVP of the Arena Bowl last year, putting Grand Rapids inside the 5, down to the 4. It's first and goal.
Now, people don't understand how hard it is. This is called throw and close. Donvitas Franklin has to close. And now, before, he just got him by the ankle, knowing that if he missed him, it would be a touchdown. Here, he breaks down, and it gives Owens a little time to give an okey doke and get another 5 yards. That's a tough play for a defensive back to have to make.
Terrell Shaw missed 5 games, the last 5 games, due to an ankle injury. Flip in the back of the end zone, juggle ball, touchdown! Willis Marshall is second of the game, and the Rampage go back on top. It was anybody's ball there for a moment. Great concentration on the part of Willis Marshall to pull that one in.
The better play on Dolezal. Dolezal here, he's under pressure. Here he comes. Oh, let me just throw it and get it away. That was a wonderful play by Dolezal. He sees the guy, he throws it about 15 yards before the guy even gets there. Gets underneath it. Wonderful play.
So the Rampage up 13-10. Brian Goins on to attempt the extra point. It's perfect. 14-10. Grand Rapids on top, and that was some street ball there. A little flip pass.
That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. It's exactly what Aaron Garcia was talking about 3 weeks ago, what it's all about. It's all about improvisation, on the field at one time where your offensive receivers understand the improvisation you're going to make as the quarterback. And if you two guys are both on the same play, the same page, boy, you can have a real good shot. And here, good end zone shot here. You're going to see. Here is, he's back. He's throwing the ball. That's another 15 yards he had to run to catch the ball. He knew what was going on. Good play.
So Willis Marshall with a second touchdown already in this game. As you saw, the 12th receiving touchdown of his season thus far. Grand Rapids on top 14-10, and the New York Dragons are on the World Wide Web at www.newyorkdragons.com. You can log on to the team's official site and get the latest Dragons news, prospect reports, transactions, and all the inside info straight from the source. You simply won't find another team site with more information. Visit newyorkdragons.com today. So Goins back deep to kick off. Steve Pappen in the Dragons end zone, set to receive. 10:46 to go before halftime. High end over end kick that hits the scoreboard. The ball immediately blown dead by the officials, and I believe, Greg, that is the equivalent of the ball going out of bounds, which is a penalty against the kicker, which gives the Dragons the ball at their own 20-yard line. Great field position. That's a bad mistake by Brian Goins.
Well, it is, but what they were trying to do is, as we know from our special inside guy, that was going to be one of their special onside kicks. The whole team lines up in the middle, runs right down the hash marks, and tries to get there as the ball comes down. But unfortunately, the scoreboard was in their way.
So great field position for New York at their own 20-yard line. 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen.
Yeah, Gowins knew he messed that up by hitting the scoreboard.
Now Furry coming in motion to the near side left. 1st and 10 for Garcia. Firing in the slot, Turner makes the catch. Inside Grand Rapids territory, down to the 22-yard line. Brought down by Michael Baker. Gain of 8 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
And Turner, he's a blazer. He's like the Illinois State 100-yard champ when he was in high school or something like that. And he's just back because he had a bad injury on his foot. Nice to see him back in there healthy. All these guys have been injured for 1 or 2 weeks, and it's always hard to get an offense going when everyone's out all the time.
That seemed to be the point John Gregory was making about Aaron Garcia. He has had different wide receivers to practice with every week based on injuries. All the time in the world. Going end zone, incomplete. Intended for Furry. He wanted a flag, none coming. Tawambi Settles was back in coverage. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, that was funny. Furry might have, I think he was just distracted by Settles. Settles making a pretty good play back down there. You see, he goes, he has him beat to the corner, but I think he just had his eyes taken off his hand, got in his eyes. He's calling for an pass interference. Unfortunately, you don't wear the striped shirts.
Clock moving, 9:20 to go here in the 2nd quarter. Grand Rapids has 2 touchdowns in this game from Willis Marshall and a 14-10 lead. 3rd down and 2. Garcia to Pappen. 1st down to the 16-yard line. Brought down by Baker. But New York moves the chains.
You know what? And that's the name of the game in here. You're always trying to get a couple yards. Here, the 1st down, you've got to have a 1st down play that works, baby. You cannot miss a 2-yard game for a 1st down and have to kick a field goal.
The Dragons have attempted far too many field goals this year. Although Clay Rush is having a great season. He's 19 of 38, which in an Arena Football League play is pretty good kicking field goals. Garcia on 1st down. In the corner of the end zone, incomplete. And over the sideboards and out of play goes Pappen. He was hit hard by Kenyatte Morgan as that ball was thrown a bit high. Pappen tried to climb the ladder to bring it down and flipped right off the field.
Onto the cement, folks. That's cement on the other side of that wall. Let's listen to this. Morgan's loving that because those defensive players, they love hitting those guys over those dasher boards. And he saw those. He saw the boards there. He knew he was going to get hit, and I think that distracted him.
Furry in motion. Quick pop pass to Pappen at the 12-yard line. Brought down immediately. Gain of about 5 on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Kenyatte Morgan again in coverage.
you know, every once in a while you got to at least give him credit for saying, hey, look, maybe it's you know, it's a little better that I don't catch this pass instead of breaking my neck over the dashboard. So you got to give him a little credit there.
Welcome to the Arena League, though.
Even though he's an offensive player, we give those guys credit every once in a while.
That's nice of you. 3rd down and a long 5. Furry in motion. Garcia buying himself some time, retreating back to midfield, throwing all the way across the field. Ball up for grabs, incomplete. Happen was hit by Tawambi Settles. There's a flag down on the play in the secondary. Garcia did all he could to buy as much time as possible. We'll have to check the flag.
I thought there was movement on Grand Rapids.
And it looks as if the penalty is going to be against the Rampage. And it is. Again, Gene Hartlib is our referee.
Illegal contact on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And illegal contact on Grand Rapids gives New York an automatic first down. 1st and goal at the 7.
I don't know if we can catch it. There's the illegal contact.
And I think the guilty party was Michael Baker. Furry was hit twice. The first time, I think he was inside that 5-yard boundary. The second time, though, he was well outside. Pappen is the motion man. 1st and goal for New York. Garcia, near side. Pappen, touchdown. A flag thrown. But Pappen walked into the end zone from the 5-yard line. We'll have to check the penalty.
I love it. They put the spotlight down on those referees.
The Dragons don't look particularly happy, and it looks as if this one may be coming back. The Zebras with a long conference here, trying to figure out potentially where they're going to spot the football, but it looks as if the Dragons offense is going to stay on the field. Offensive pass interference. That's a killer.
Pass interference on the offense. Number 1. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, they probably tried to run a pick down there, and that's where they called it.
Jeff Turner. We'll take a look at the left side of your screen. You'll see Jeff Turner. He's in the slot. And there's the pick. That's a tough call.
I'll tell you why, and most of the time the referees do make good calls. There's a difference where there really wasn't a pick because the defender was not going out to cover anybody. If the defender was trying to make a move, I could say, yeah, that was a pick. But that was so questionable.
10-yard penalty, 1st and goal from the 17. Garcia caught in the backfield, flag on the play. That'll be a face masking penalty.
Well, certainly it's a blow to the head by number 91.
It's Corey Mayfield.
He's only 330-some pounds.
Should be an incidental face mask penalty. Illegal contact is the penalty, certainly against Corey Mayfield as we get another look.
Illegal use of hands to the face on the defense. Number 91. That's a 5-yard penalty and automatic first down.
And what that's done is it's given the Dragons a chance to only go 10 yards to get a first down. Before it was 1st and 20 into the goal line. They had to score a touchdown. They couldn't have gotten a first down. That's a good break for the Dragons that time.
That is an excellent point. An automatic first down. You're right. It was 1st and goal, almost out to midfield.
Coach didn't like that.
But because that penalty occurred out past the 20-yard line, the ball placed on the 20-yard line, but the chains come back on the field. So you're right. Now New York can get a first down inside the 10.
Yeah, Triggs, the head coach of Grand Rapids, he's over there saying, hey, come on, he really didn't mean it.
And now they have to check, I think, on the spot of the ball. I believe the ball was placed out at about the 22-yard line on the penalty. It must be a spot foul, meaning it's a 5-yard penalty from the point where Corey Mayfield made contact with Garcia in the backfield, which means he hit him at about midfield. So, after all is said and done, a penalty giving New York 1st and 10 at the Grand Rapids 20-yard line. Furry, the motion man, at the bottom of your screen. Garcia dropping under pressure and sacked in the backfield once again. And the crowd doesn't like it because Garcia escaped the grasp of Travis McDonald, but it was blown dead the minute McDonald wrapped up Garcia. That's the second sack here in the first half for Travis McDonald.
All right, Travis McDonald, it looked like he came free, like someone blinked and they ran by him. You're going to see down here, Travis McDonald just free.
Garcia wanted to know as well when the whistle blew why he wasn't allowed to try and make a play. A 10-yard loss on the sack, second down and 20. Now the Dragons back in their own territory at their own 20-yard line. Garcia under pressure again, eluding the rush, buying time, flag down. He's sacked again.
That's got to be a holding penalty on the Dragons.
Ricky Simpkins came up with the sack that time. Garcia has yet to have any time to throw, and a holding penalty on top of it against New York.
See, now here I would decline that if I'm Grand Rapids. I'd decline that penalty, make it third down.
It'd be third down and 22 yards.
That penalty is declined. Third down.
Brad Wynn, the guilty party for holding, and Greg, they did decline the penalty.
It's because those defensive guys are smart in this league.
And they now spot the football back at the line of scrimmage, saying Garcia got back to the 20-yard line. Third down and 20 with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And New York going south when they need to go north. And now the officials blowing the play dead. And they may be discussing the spot of the football.
Well, the spot, it really doesn't mean anything right now, because what Garcia's got to do certainly is not look for the whole thing. Throw 2 passes of 10 and 15 yards instead of going into the end zone.
They are now marking the football back another yard. So it will be third down at 21. The second sack on this possession for Grand Rapids, third of the game. And Aaron Garcia needs all the time in the world now to try and go downfield on 3rd and 21. Can the Dragons provide that kind of time? Firing over the middle, incomplete. Furry went right. Penalty. It appeared Garcia thought he was going to go left, and another flag is down on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer against Grand Rapids. That's a huge call. That's going to give New York a first down. That is a terrible mistake by Grand Rapids.
Here you're going to see it. What happens here? Quarterback throws the ball. Oh, you just missed it. He came from the backside.
10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Automatic first down.
That has to drive Michael Trigg absolutely bananas. The head coach for Grand Rapids.
Back to pass.
Watching his team make a terrible mistake.
3. He hits him. I think that he was helped hitting him. I think the Dragon player kind of helped push him. He was still being blocked. But hey, listen, you gotta just stop. You can't go in there and hit that quarterback.
And he certainly leaned his shoulder in. So after all is said and done, 1st and 10 once again for New York at the Grand Rapids 21. Throwing to the right over the head of Rodney Filer. Garcia had the screen set up to the right, but Filer stumbled. And as he was regaining his balance, the ball sailed over his head. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Right, you see on the right side, Filer thought he was going to get a piece of him and fell down because his momentum was too little far forward, unbalanced, and was unable to get up and catch the ball because the pass rush was really tremendous. They've had a great pass rush in his last 7 plays.
Under 4 minutes to go here in the first half. The Rampage still with only a 4-point lead at 14-10. Garcia quickly to Pappas up the seam. Gets down to about the 11-yard line, very close to a first down for New York, and it looks as if the spot is going to give him a first down. It is a first down.
That's tremendous. You couldn't have asked him to fall down anywhere else other than right outside the 10-yard line so that they're able to get another first down. Here it is, a simple slant. The Rampage is playing zone. They got caught in that soft zone on the left side, and that's what that schoolyard ball's about. Hey guys, if they're in a soft zone, turn around. I'm going to hit you.
Pappen in motion. Garcia with some motion in the line. Handoff inside Filer. He is flipped upside down at the 3-yard line, but a gain of 7 yards on first down on the ground. He was hit hard by Kenyatte Morgan. It'll be 2nd down now for the Dragons at the 3.
And the Dragons caught Grand Rapids not watching, uncharacteristically. They ran the ball in that situation where they don't normally do that. Filer, good play. Pick your feet up and you got it.
2.5 to go here in the second quarter. Second down at the 3. Garcia trying to take it himself, going nowhere. Travis McDonald again wrapping up Aaron Garcia and driving him down for a loss of a yard.
I'll tell you something, this number 45, Travis McDonald's a player. This guy came out here and he comes up and he hits the guard. Watch him on your right side. Bang, he gets a chibi and gets it and moves out. Garcia, I think, had his mind made up. I'm going to go down the line of scrimmage. But McDonald had another thing for that quarterback to think about. Garcia should have had his head up watching for that.
Third down from the 4. The Dragons could conceivably pick up a first down at about the half-yard line. Doxson in motion. Garcia looking end zone. Tripped up and sacked again at the 10-yard line. Again, Travis McDonald combining with Israel Raybon, the rookie from North Alabama. The 4th sack of the game. Garcia goes down again. It'll set up 4th down from the 11-yard line, and that will bring on Clay Rush.
Boy, there's got to be a mental error here somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's ready to throw the ball. You got to throw it. There comes the sack. Somebody probably didn't do the right thing here, but he should have at least thrown it near somebody.
And Mike Furry calling timeout. Mike Furry was set up as the holder
First charge timeout.
on Clay Rush's field goal attempt. And the play clock was only at about 12, so there was plenty of time for New York to get the kick off, but obviously Furry saw something he didn't like up front. So he calls timeout. Aaron Garcia frustrated on the New York sideline, as the best he can hope for right now is for Clay Rush to knock through a 23-yard field goal attempt.
Good play by Furry, because there were only 7 men on the field. They didn't have all 8 there for whatever reason.
Check that. This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt with 1:19 to go here in the second quarter, and Grand Rapids with a 14-10 lead.
You know, Bob, this stuff here that the fans really don't have a grasp of is the substitution, because it's so difficult to plan your substitutions correctly, because whoever starts the beginning of the quarter has to start the second quarter, the end of the quarter. It's unbelievable, and it's very, very difficult to plan substitutions by the coaches.
So Clay Rush on now to attempt a 26-yard field goal. He is 1 for 1 so far in the game to pull the Dragons back to within 1. The placement good, the kick on the way, and it is sailing over the top of the net and good. 14-13 with 1:14 to go here in the second quarter.
Worried about it.
Minute 14 to go here in the second quarter. Clay Rush set to kick off after converting his second field goal of the first half. And again, back deep to receive, Willis Marshall. High end-over-end kick from Rush, heading towards the rebound net, landing in that soft portion. Instead, Kenyatte Morgan brings it out. Wrapped up at the 4-yard line. Drilled. A good special teams play made for the New York Dragons by Elliot Fortune. And with 1:03 to go here in the first half, all the time in the world for Grand Rapids as we play stoppage time inside the last minute. The clock now rolls down to what is the 1-minute warning.
And Elliot Fortune, who made the tackle, he's a hometown guy from Freeport High School. He was in Freeport. He's about 6'5", 300 now. But when he was playing basketball at Freeport High School, here's a kid that went out there and wrecked the backboard. He jammed it and pulled everything down. So I think they spanked his hands and said, go to Georgia Tech and play football.
1 minute even to go in the second quarter. The Rampage with all 3 timeouts, and again stoppage play inside the last minute. Doles out quickly, swinging one left side to Marshall. Flag down on the play. He gets 5 yards. Tackled by Chinichibi. Check the penalty.
That's a holding penalty on the wide receiver.
And it is against Grand Rapids.
Oh, and I'm sorry about Fortune. I said he was from Freeport. He's from Roosevelt High School.
Holding on the offense, number 2, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Gary Compton, the veteran from East Texas State, guilty. Committing a holding penalty there, half the distance to the goal. As we check the penalty on the left side of your screen, there it is. Grabbing Chris Clopton, who still managed to get in on the tackle. First down and 13. And this time Compton makes the catch out near midfield. Good enough for a first down after the 16-yard line. So Gary Compton, guilty of a holding penalty that pushed his team back within about 2 yards of their goal line, comes up with a 14-yard pass reception and a first down.
Here's why Dolezal's so good. He takes the ball and he floats the ball. He's got plenty of time, number one. Number two is he leads the receivers so well that it's virtually impossible for the trailing defender to make an interception.
Closing in on 19,500 career passing yards. Quickly popping one to Marshall. He splits the seam into Dragons territory to the 21-yard line. Tackled by Shea Showers again. Plenty good enough for a first down. And like college rules, the clock stops as they move the chains to replace the football with 34 seconds to go before halftime. And Grand Rapids instead will stop the clock altogether and take their first time out.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's a lot of questionable blocking because right up the line of scrimmage, well, here you're going to see them going. It flips out here. But that wide receiver is blocking before the pass is thrown. And I believe you can do that as long as the pass is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. But boy, that's close. That looked like it was thrown across the line of scrimmage, which of course the wide receiver couldn't be blocking. Very, very close to being a penalty.
And we'd like to remind you, Dragons football comes your way Thursday night on Metro TV. The Dragons will wrap up their season when they visit the Toronto Phantoms. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock. That's Thursday night on Metro TV. So 1st and 10 upcoming for Grand Rapids at the Dragons' 21-yard line. It's amazing with running time, Greg, how quickly the first 29 minutes of the half goes by and how many plays you're able to get off inside that last minute once you get stoppage time.
Right, it's like a bad marriage.
I have no idea what that means. Dolezal standing in the pocket, flipping it near side. Compton makes the catch. Gain of about 4 yards. Hit by Maxwell. Clock stops with 28 seconds to go in the second quarter.
They do. They have a lot of stoppage now, but this clock will start rolling once the referee says go.
Clint Dolezal, last year a championship season, setting an AFL record with 574 passing attempts, 80 touchdown passes, close to 4,000 yards passing. He had a tremendous season. Terrell Shaw in motion. Wide to Compton. Inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 7-yard line. Hit by Chris Clopton. Good enough, though, for a first down for Grand Rapids at the 9. It will be 1st and goal for the Rampage with 22 seconds to go here in the first half.
And once again, that's one of those option routes that they're always running. When you see that zone, they send the one guy deep, the one guy doesn't out and stops. And I'll tell you, if you're playing a zone and you mess it up and you both go for the deep guy, the underneath guy's going to get 10 or 15 yards.
Well, 22 seconds to go and 2 timeouts. Dolezal can throw the ball pretty much anywhere he wants, and he does so to Compton, who gets down to the 6-yard line. Shea Showers brought him down. Dolezal spending one of the timeouts remaining for Grand Rapids. They'll have 1 left, stopping the clock with 15.5 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
And sometimes you think those plays that quarterback is throwing, you go, boy, that is so stupid, that's so dumb. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to get him to miss a tackle. He misses that tackle, folks, it's a touchdown. So they're going to throw that a lot. They're going to throw that 10 times a game, and if you miss 1 tackle, it's a touchdown.
Seems like a play they've gone to about 10 times here in the first half.
You're not kidding, and particularly because they catch the ball all the time. They haven't dropped one of them, and there hasn't been a sack.
That's almost an Arena League version of a running play.
Yeah, that's very good. That's a good analogy, Rob.
Just trying to get guys in space in a one-on-one situation, but obviously, I mean, it's a 0% play in terms of risk. The worst that could happen is it's an incompletion, and it's a pass that can't be intercepted.
Well, you said it, and I'm going to give you a little credit now. You said it. 0% chance of risk, because you're just throwing it out there. You're going to have 2 guys block, set them up, and hopefully he mixes a tackle, and then you can get a big play out of it. But of course, you have to be patient. You can't, force that play. You got to hit it right now and hope that the guys are open.
2nd down and goal from the 6. Again, Terrell Shaw will be the motion man. 3 wide receivers to the left. Dolezal with 15 seconds. Flags on the snap. The play immediately whistled dead. Usually means a false start against the offense. That's the call.
False start on the offense. Number 55. The 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Joe Wiley, the center, the guilty party. And they have to reset the clock from 13.8 back to 16 seconds. And sometimes a penalty like that, Greg, as we've talked about in the past, can almost be a blessing in disguise in that it just gives you that much more room to work with, because with 16 seconds to go, you know they're going to try and throw the ball in the end zone if they can. It at times can widen the field and give your playmakers a bit more room to try and get free.
You can. Defensively, you've got to play a little closer. But if you don't have the pass rush, the quarterback can eat you apart. Because that 325 average pound lineman over there on the offense, they're going to protect that quarterback.
Shaw in motion. Dolezal lobbing into the end zone. Touchdown.
He's offsides.
Terrell Shaw made the touchdown catch, but he looked to be at least 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage when the ball was finally snapped.
That's correct.
The Rampage don't like it, but that'll be the call.
Well, you know what?
Offsides against Terrell Shaw.
And you know what? It looks like they're offsides all the time. But I guess as long as your trailing foot is still onside, they allow it.
On the offense, number 15, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I think what that is, in terms at least in arena football, is it's like the ghost tag in Major League Baseball. They give you at least some cushion there, but if it's that blatant, they're forced to throw the flag. And he had a 4-yard head start by the time they finally snapped the ball.
Now that was pretty blatant. But going back to that solid offensive line by Grand Rapids, they're 330, 331, and 310.
11 seconds to go now. Back to the 16-yard line. They flip the screen right to Israel Raybon. He's brought down at the 13-yard line with 4.5 seconds to go here in the second quarter. And Grand Rapids will spend their last time out. And I have to question that play. I mean, you've only got 10 seconds to go, which means at best you figure you can take 2 shots at the end zone. You're going to flip a screen to a 305-pound offensive lineman?
You are learning and you're paying attention. That's exactly right, Bob, because listen, if he doesn't go out of bounds, he gets tackled in bounds. They don't have enough time to call a timeout. The calf is over. Very, very good observation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My confidence right now is at an all-time high working with you. Should be the last play of the half. 4.6 seconds to go before halftime. Dolezal looking end zone, firing, touchdown! Terrell Shaw makes the touchdown catch as the half expires. Talk about threading the needle. Dolezal with a bullet right in between Shea Showers and Don Vitas Franklin, and somehow Terrell Shaw held onto the football and about stuck in his jersey. As we get another look, this is a bullet.
Let's see how Shea Showers misses the ball.
It went right through his hands, right into the gut of Terrell Shaw for a touchdown.
And he missed the ball because he went for the interception. He could have knocked it down quite easily.
Goins' extra point is no good. So that is a small silver lining to that last drive of the Rampage for the Dragons. We have reached the half. Grand Rapids with a touchdown lead at the break, 20-13. We'll come back with our halftime report in just a moment. Welcome to the Dragons halftime report. Bob Wischusen back at the Nassau Coliseum. The halftime report brought to you by Mega Millions, the first ever multi-state game from the New York Lottery. With jackpots so big, you're going to have to dream bigger. Tickets on sale now. Watch the drawings every Tuesday and Friday, or you can visit nylottery.org for winning numbers. Our score at the half: the Grand Rapids Rampage 20 and the New York Dragons 13. Standing by downstairs with one of the Dragons' defensive heroes of the first half is our own Carl Reuter. Carl?
All right, thanks very much, Bob. With Chin Achebe of the Dragons. And Chin, what happened there on that last play? That's a tough touchdown going to the locker room with.
Yeah. We got pressure on the quarterback. We just got to get our DBs on the guys. They was there. They just need to make the plays. They was there to make the plays.
Talking about making plays, Travis McDonald, number 45, your opposite number, has been all over the field. How do you keep him out of the face of Aaron Garcia in the second half?
Got to block better up front. What we're doing, we're sliding, and they're doing a protection where they're holding our guy and coming back around. He's getting in free. Just got to hold him up front. He's a good athlete. He's a great athlete.
All right, Chin, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah.
That's Chinichibi, number 45 of the Dragons, who walk off into the locker room trailing Grand Rapids. We're coming back with more from the Nassau Coliseum right after this timeout. Stay with us. Welcome back to the New York Lottery Mega Millions halftime show. Well, hi, everyone. Carl Reuter, joined by Todd Doxson from the New York Dragons. And, Todd, it has not been a season that the Dragons thought they'd be in this position right now, just playing out the string.
Definitely not. You know, we got a talented club, and our expectations were definitely far above, where we're at right now.
How difficult was it this year? I mean, you have caught from four different quarterbacks, touchdown passes, so you're really not in sync as far as quarterback to wide receiver. Is that a trying time for a receiver?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's part of the game. You know, you have injuries, you have, people coming in and out. But, with Aaron back, it gets you in your groove that you were in last year. Unfortunately, it's a little late, I think.
All right, nothing against anybody else, but when Aaron did announce and the team was able to sign him and he did come back, how happy were you?
Well, I was definitely pleased, and like you said, not taking anything away from the other guys, because the other guys are great athletes as well. They just don't have the experience that Aaron does, and like you said, last year we had a pretty steady group. We had some consistency, and just makes it a lot easier to go out there and perform. So I was definitely excited, and I'm fired up that he's back.
It's amazing that this guy has done so many great things. Might go down as the greatest quarterback this league has ever seen, but he's still, almost to use a cliche, still getting his feet wet since he came back here.
Yeah, he's this is his third game back or whatever, and he's going from the big game to this game, it's an adjustment, and spending an entire offseason basically with San Francisco, it's tough to come back into this game and get right back into it. So, as he gets back into this league more and more, you'll see Aaron, get just improve, more and more each time.
All right, talk about Todd Doxson away from the football field. You're smiling because you know what's coming at you. You're catching footballs by day, but the rest of the time after practice, you have twins. They're 4 months old. Now, what does Daddy Todd have to do during the course of a day for his infants?
Well, that's basically just help Denise out, and just be burping, feeding, getting vomited on, whatever, changing nasty old diapers, and just, taking care of them, man. It's just a full-time job.
What's the experience like? Did you know the twins were coming? I mean, one is tough enough, but now two at one time, boy. It's a thrilling time, but also a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah, it's worth it, though. There's a lot of, negatives, but the positives far outweigh the negatives, and definitely the biggest blessing in our life up to this point.
Best part about being a dad is?
The way they look into your eyes when when you're just playing with them and they just look and smile at you. It's unbelievable. It's like no other feeling you'll ever have.
Even if you scored a touchdown?
It just doesn't even compare.
All right, Todd. I like an honest guy. Thanks very much for joining us.
No problem.
That's Todd Doxson from the New York Dragons. We'll have more from the Nassau Coliseum right after this timeout. Stay with us.
We're back at the Mega Millions New York Dragons halftime report. Bob Wischusen alongside Greg Buttle. 20-13, the Grand Rapids Rampage on top of the New York Dragons. We take a look, Greg, at our first half highlights. And early in the first half, a quick start for Grand Rapids. They score a touchdown on their first possession. Willis Marshall, the first of his 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Well, yeah, I mean, they came out there, they did things that a 2-10 team would say, hey, what about that? Right here is simple. That was the long handoff from the wide receiver. Scores. The defense spreads out. He throws himself right through the defenders.
Dragons' lone touchdown of the first half, Mike Furry wide open.
Mike Furry wide open. The safety bites to jump the cross man. He should never have done that. He should have taken the deep man, and there was a mix-up in coverage.
Willis Marshall, second touchdown of the game, and this one, great concentration.
Great concentration and a wonderful throw by Dolezal here. It's a timing pass. He just sits back there. He's got pressure. He throws it up, and he runs underneath it. He tips it, but he catches it for the touchdown. Very athletic play.
And speaking of Clint Dolezal, had a solid first half. This a bullet on the last play from scrimmage in the second quarter.
And this is why 2-10 teams are 2-10. Shea Showers plays it perfectly. He has a great run on the ball, jumps on it. It goes through his hands. He had an interception, just didn't get it.
Taking a look at our Mega Millions halftime statistics. Total yards, Grand Rapids dominating. Passing yards, they are certainly dominating. And 20-13, when you take a look at the numbers, It's actually somewhat surprising that New York is behind by only a touchdown.
Well, you kind of look at that and you say, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that the fact is that Dozell's played good. The offensive line is excellent, but they've had 8 penalties in the first half, which hurt them defensively and offensively, and that's kept New York Dragons in the football game here.
And a major problem for the Dragons, and has been all season, their inability to protect the quarterback, and at the same time their inability to get a pass rush on the opposing quarterback. 4 sacks of Aaron Garcia in the first half. The Dragons did not generate a sack.
That's correct. And a lot of times a coach has to say to himself, what is it? Is the quarterback taking a little too much time? Is it my offensive line? Right now I think it's a little bit of both, but it's number 45. As the Chibi said, that guy's a great athlete on defense, and he's been disrupting everything the Dragons have been doing.
So what has to turn around for New York in the second half?
Garcia's got to roll out of the pocket a little. He's got to make some passes that are 10 yards long, not 50 yards long.
A touchdown lead for the Grand Rapids Rampage at the half here at the Coliseum. We'll be back in just a moment. Our third quarter kickoff is coming up. This has been the Mega Millions halftime report. Mega Millions, the first ever multi-state game from the New York Lottery. With jackpots so big, you're going to have to dream bigger. Tickets on sale now. Watch the drawings every Tuesday and Friday, or visit nylottery.org for winning numbers. We'll return to the Nassau Coliseum. Second half is coming up right here on Fox Sports Net.
Just about set for the start of the second half at the Nassau Coliseum. Grand Rapids on top by the score of 20-13. How trying of a season for head coach John Gregory of New York. This is his 8th year as the head coach in this league. It also dates back to when he was the head coach of the Iowa Barnstormers. For the previous 7, John Gregory made the playoffs. This season, John Gregory will not be making the playoffs, and you know he's going to be thinking hard and long about this one as we go back upstairs for the start of the second half. Bob Wischusen, Greg Buttle.
Carl Reuter, thank you very much. And Carl, you're exactly right. For a man that has been named the AFL Coach of the Year in back-to-back seasons back in 95 and 96. A humbling season this year for John Gregory. And Steve Pappen comes out to the 5 to start the second half. Still on his feet to the 15. Cutting back at the 20. Dragged down at the 21-yard line. Good kick return for Steve Pappen. And good field position for the Dragons as they trail by 7 to open up here in the third quarter.
Well, now what the Dragons are going to have to do here, Bob, is they're going to have to spread the ball out a little more. Right now in the first half, what Garcia's done is he's only found Pappen. He's had Pappen for 5 receptions. On the other hand, Dozell, he's doled it out to about 6 or 7 receivers. Compton with 6 receptions, Shaw with 5, Marshall with 2, Ryan, Manuel Morgan with 1 apiece. He's been able to spread the ball around and keep the secondary guessing. Right now, there's no guessing on the secondary of the Grand Rapids Rampage.
Garcia in the first half was 7 of 12 for 86 yards. That man, Clint Dozell, 18 of 22 for 145 yards and a touchdown. And Garcia, actually, they credited Grand Rapids with 1 more sack. One of the times when Garcia got back to the line of scrimmage but was dragged down maybe a half-yard behind. 5 sacks in the first half for the Rampage. Garcia to throw on first down, opening up the second half with a strike up the left sideline. Mike Furry makes the catch to the 14-yard line. So a good start to the second half. A quick strike by New York.
And that's a good play to come out of the box like that. And what they did, they ran a crossing pattern with Pappen underneath and Furry to the outside. Either one was open. Furry had the deep zone, and that was it. Let me go to the zone side, not the man side.
Gain of 15 yards on first down. 1st and 10 for New York. They trail by 7. 1 minute gone by here in the third quarter. Furry the motion man. The quick pop out to Pappen at the 10. A gain of about 5 yards. It'll be second down from the 10-yard line.
Right, a lot of times, I mean, I've noticed this many times in every league. The quick guy, the real quick guy, he's more apt to give you an okey-doke and move sideways instead of splitting the defender and going for extra yards. And that time you saw Pappen again. Instead of going through the defenders, getting another 1 or 2 yards, he's thinking he can make somebody miss.
Jeff Turner and Pappen at the top of the screen. Furry at the bottom of your screen. Pappen now the motion man as Garcia drops, looking towards Pappen. Gets him the football at the 5-yard line. He slips and is brought down by Jason Waters. About a yard shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1 from the 6.
And I really think that Garcia thought he was going to get a first down on that play. He rolled out to his left, which is the wrong side for quarterbacks to roll out. But boy, he made a dart and threw it right there.
The play call here, do you go end zone or just for the first down?
No, I go to the 2-yard line. I make something onto the 2-yard line. Maybe someone misses a tackle.
3 wide receivers to the near side right. Furry the motion man. Garcia looking end zone. Lobbing for Papin. Incomplete. Tawambi Settles may have just redirected that football at the last moment. It'll be 4th and 1, and we'll have to see if New York decides to go for it. And I believe they will.
Yeah, and Settles made a real good play there. He was beaten, but I'll tell you, with his size and speed, he was just able to get up there. That's a very good play by Settles.
He just did redirect the ball.
You know, you got to understand, there's a guy 6'4" playing defensive back. It's tough. He can make up a lot of ground. Got long arms and legs.
He's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year at Duke. 4th and 1, the Dragons go for it. Garcia with time. Again back in the end zone. This time a touchdown. Second of the game for Mike Furry. And the Dragons are an extra point away from tying the game. They go for it on 4th and 1, and it pays off. They get 6.
Same play, only different result. Garcia knows, hey, listen, I have to throw the ball a little more speed. Before, he just laid it up there and Settles climbed up the ladder to get it. Here you're going to see Garcia goes back. Same play. There's Ferry. He throws, has a little more mustard on it. Settles has not able to get there.
Clay Rush to tie the game. Extra point. No good.
You know, every once in a while you wonder, how does a place kicker miss an extra point that no one's rushing? You really don't have much rush against you.
John Gregory, even when he gets it to go right for his team, doesn't quite all go right. It's a 1-point game. 11:23 to go here in the 3rd quarter. The Dragons strike first here in the 2nd half. Clay Rush set to kick off. They trail by only 1. Just missed the extra point, though. The kickoff coming down off the end zone net, brought out by Willis Marshall to the 10. Left sideline to the 20. Still on his feet to the 21-yard line, inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line of New York. But an official on the near side appears to have marked him out of bounds back at the 23-yard line of Grand Rapids. And that is where the ball will be placed, but a good kickoff return by Willis Marshall.
And you know, a lot of people might think, well, geez, you know what? How come he didn't go out of bounds? He touched the side boards. If you run along the inside line of the out of bounds marker and you touch the board, you are still in bounds. Only if someone forces you into the boards are you considered out of bounds.
1st and 10 for Dolezal. Has time, throwing right side. Marshall makes the catch, close to a first down. Brought down by Furry after a gain of about 9 3/4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and inches.
You know, on that extra point, Bob, when Clay Rush missed that extra point, you look at it and say, geez, how does he miss an extra point? Well, I'll tell you, it's only 8 feet wide. The uprights are 8 feet wide for the extra point. You want to hear something bad? How about when an NFL kicker misses an extra point? Now you're ready to shoot that guy.
About 5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and short. This time the pitch out. Running left, Travis McDonald fights for yardage inside the 15-yard line. Down to about the 14-yard line. Rodney Fowler brought him down, but that's good enough for a first down. Gain of 3.
That's to keep him honest. We'll get a first down. We'll run. We'll see if somebody misses a tackle. We may get more yards.
This is a methodical offense that Grand Rapids runs. Again, close to 300 yards per game in total offense. That's 1st in the league. Over 280 yards on average their passing offense. That's 1st in the league. And they score 53.2 points per game. That's 4th in the league. Very efficient. 1st and 10. Dolezal, near side. Shaw makes the catch. Hit it about the 8-yard line. Nate Bell, Donvitas Franklin in on the tackle. But a gain of close to 7 yards. And this is impact worth hearing. Ouch.
Good one here. Good move by Shaw. That's the one thing, boy. When those wide receivers cut back to the inside, you have to look out for that Greyhound bus.
2nd and 4 from the 8. Compton in motion. Dolezal to Compton. Touchdown. The quick out run by Gary Compton. A designed rollout right for Dolezal. He hit him perfectly in stride. Compton shook a tackle and got into the end zone, and the Rampage answered the Dragons with a touchdown of their own.
Play was made here by 45, who was able to get the defensive end to bend down and then whip the ball into the end zone for the touchdown.
So a quick strike to Gary Compton. Ryan Goins on to attempt the extra point, and he does what Clay Rush couldn't do. Converts on the extra point, which opens up an 8-point lead for Grand Rapids. 8:21 to go here in the 3rd. Bob Wischusen, Greg Buttle, Carl Reuter back at the Coliseum. 27-19. The Rampage open up the lead. Dolezal to Compton. Quick strike and a touchdown.
Quick strike, and Davidas Franklin just did not close fast enough. He didn't read the play well enough is what happened. On that play, once that guy makes it out, you gotta be on your horse and make sure the angle you take is in front of that goal line, not to the back of the receiver.
Gary Compton, 7 catches, 58 yards. That was an 8-yard touchdown catch, and Dolezal was a perfect 3 for 3 on that drive. Happened, waiting for the football off the rebound net, now has some room. Wrapped up at the 10-yard line. Israel Raybon grabbed him. That was like a longest yard play. Just threw him down to the ground.
That's what happens when 305 pounds clotheslines 173 pounds. That's a good play. Those are the kind of things you look at, like in that movie, The Longest Yard. Whoops, bing, gone, down. When Lurch in The Longest Yard
right.
clothesline the guard.
Under 8 minutes to go now here in the 3rd quarter. The Dragons need an answer. Garcia on 1st down. Wants it all. Looking for Maxwell. Touchdown! There's a flag down on the play back at the line of scrimmage.
I think that's going to be them out of the box. I think it's on Michigan and Rampage.
If the play stands, it's a 40-yard touchdown strike from Garcia to Jason Maxwell, the Hofstra rookie, who got behind the defense, and now the Dragons are waiting to find out what the call is going to be. And it looks to be against Grand Rapids. The touchdown will count.
Illegal defense. Number 2, illegal rush. That's a penalty is declined. Touchdown.
So an illegal rush against Gary Compton is the penalty. Obviously, New York declines. And just like that, the Dragons are an extra point away from making it a 1-point football game again.
And just understand, an illegal rush is what happens is they have to rush straight. You can't do a twist in there. You can't, go up and then fake up and then go around the center or around the end. In this league, once you blitz, you got to blitz straight ahead.
Clay Rush on to attempt the extra point. Furry puts it down, and Rush this time puts it through. A 1-play, 39-yard scoring drive as Garcia goes up top to Jason Maxwell, and it's a 1-point game again. 27-26 Grand Rapids.
Here you're going to take a look again. They just go up there. You can't see really Compton. Long, wonderful play. Maxwell just underneath it. In the NFL, that's a 40-yard pass play. Here, it's like a 90-yard pass play.
Maxwell was the motion man, and having that running start at the line of scrimmage got him started, and he just split the safeties.
And I don't think they were prepared, because Maxwell is not the receiver that's going to go long. I think that they were taken back by the fact that Maxwell didn't even stop to make a move. He just went right through him. And in that fact, if they make a hesitation of a half a step, they're going to get beat in this league.
And a wild thought, I'm not endorsing this play at all, but would you at 2-10, now that you have some momentum back in your corner, maybe try an onside kick here?
I think you could try anything at 2-10.
That's a very good point. Clay Rush instead sends it deep. This time back deep to bring it out is Kenyatte Morgan. Has a problem fielding the football and stumbles out to his own 5-yard line. So tough field position coming up for Grand Rapids and some momentum for the Dragons. And your New York Dragons Arena football team is currently taking season ticket deposits for the upcoming 2003 AFL season. Remember, it comes a lot earlier next year. The season kicks off in February following the Super Bowl and will be broadcast on NBC Channel 4 here in New York. To place your deposits, call 1-866-AFL-TIXX and speak to a sales representative today. So now Dolezal up against it. 1st and 10 from his own 5. The quick out on the right side to Compton, trying to shed a tackler. Out to the 20, across the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Todd Doxson holding on for dear life there. You know, once you make that move to the outside, you got to take and run him right into the board. You can't expect him to stop because you know you're going to have help coming from the inside. Here, Doxson, he takes a little stutter step almost. He broke down when he shouldn't have broken down. That's from defensive aggressive point of view of mine.
17-yard completion and a 1st down to the 22. Dolezal with a slot to the left. Compton in motion. Instead, the flip up the right sideline, wide open, and going the distance is Chris Ryan. Touchdown. 300 pounds of fullback. And there was no one up that sideline for New York to stop Chris Ryan.
Did you ever see 300 pounds move as fast as that guy? He was motoring. He took off.
That's just creating a mismatch based on size. And, you know, give Michael Trigg credit for this play call. He just runs over Donvitas Franklin and goes the distance.
I mean, that's 300 pounds tearing it up.
Extra point attempt to make it an 8-point game once again. Goins puts it through. So the Rampage in a volleyball game now. They come right back and score a touchdown. A 2-play, 45-yard touchdown drive. A quick pass to Gary Compton and a 28-yard screen to Chris Ryan. His 2nd touchdown this season. And with 5.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter, Grand Rapids opens up a 34-26 lead.
Boy, a simple little screen over there. He takes off. One guy, Donvitas Franklin, didn't want to get in his way. He was trying to just throw him out of bounds. That's tough to throw Volkswagens off the street and onto the sidewalk. Boy, here it is. Good block by 15. That's a real good block. 36 lumbering down the way. I guess you'd say that's lumbering, right?
I don't think there's any other way for a 300-pound guy to run.
Yeah, but he's fast. I mean, how can you say a guy that's fast lumbers?
Terrell Shaw with the downfield block, Chris Ryan with the touchdown, and Monday night at 7 o'clock on Fox Sports Net, the Mets will host the Florida Marlins. Geico Mets on Deck leads off at 6:30, and you can stay tuned after the action for the Mets postgame show presented by The Wiz. That's the Mets and Marlins on Monday night right here on Fox Sports Net. Steve Pappen is back deep to receive. Some fans enjoying the action here at the Coliseum. Brian Goins is set to kick off for Grand Rapids. 5.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and it's been a wild 3rd quarter. Goins leans into this one, a line drive kick that Pappen takes off the rebound net. Has some problems. Looking for the charity hop, doesn't get it. Finally, Jason Maxwell comes up with the ball. He heads up the left sideline and runs into the kicker, Brian Goins, who finally knocks him out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So a heads-up play by Maxwell, covering up for the fact that Steve Pappen had some problems coming up with that football off the rebound net.
And that's what makes this kicking game exciting. It comes down, but it takes a strong bounce instead of a weak bounce. Maxwell heads up. He could have laid on it, but he decided to get up. No one was around him. And the big fat guy was coming down, so he ran out of bounds.
The big fat guy.
That's right.
14-yard return for Maxwell. 1st and 10 for New York at their own 16-yard line. Todd Doxson, the motion man. Garcia. Again, looking for the home run ball for Doxson. A little too much air under the ball, incomplete. Doxson had the defense beat on the exact same play that Maxwell scored a touchdown on the last Dragons possession. And that time Garcia overthrows him.
And I'm a little shocked. I didn't think Garcia had that strong an arm. He let it rip. He really let it. Had some air under that. Now, folks, if that ball hits the nets, it's live. And anybody can catch it unless it hits the ground.
And that same pass he threw to Jason Maxwell would have gotten Todd Doxson a touchdown as well.
Because that's why you throw 104 touchdowns last year.
4:10 to go here in the third. And flags are thrown as the play is blown dead at the line.
Well, I suggest that would be on the offense. Sees how they stop the play.
False start.
It is a false start against New York.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Sean Tremblay called for the false start, 5-yard penalty. As we take another look, you'll see the motion at the top of your screen. Sets up second down at 15. That flinch, just a hair early, draws the flag. 4 minutes to go in the third. The Dragons at their own 11, second down and 15. Maxwell in motion at the top of your screen as Garcia drops. He wants the home run ball near side right for Doxson. And a foot race flag thrown.
Pass interference.
Willis Marshall was step for step with Doxson, but had that right forearm up, and he was jostling Doxson towards the sideline. Looks like he's going to get whistled for pass interference.
He did.
That's the call.
He did. He put his arm in front of him and his neck to keep him from getting to the ball. That certainly is pass interference.
Michael Trigg doesn't like that call. It'll be an automatic first down, though, for New York.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 4, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
But unlike it is in the NFL, here it's from the line of scrimmage, not from where the penalty happened. And it's a 5-yard penalty.
Which, just as an editorial comment, I think is a better way to rule it in the NFL as well. I think there are too often in the NFL teams strategically simply throw a ball up for grabs hoping for a flag more so than a completion.
I agree. It becomes strategy.
First and 10 for Garcia. He sets up the screen to the near side. Chimichibi out to about the 24-yard line, a gain of 4. Second down and 6 upcoming.
And that was wonderful pursuit by the Rampage. They had all 8 guys over on the ball on a screen pass. 8 guys made that tackle. Here you're going to see it simply. They let the whole line go in. Watch this line. They turn around. They all start sprinting towards the ball. Pretty good pursuit.
3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. The Dragons trailing Grand Rapids 34-26. Maxwell the motion man. The quick slant pass to Pappen. Good enough for a first down. Down to the 18-yard line. Tawambi Settles brought him down after a gain of about 9 yards. And the Dragons move the chains with 2.5 to go here in the third.
Yeah, because this game is all about turnovers and not making turnovers. If you can go these passes and you keep the guys off balance defensively, you've got a chance to win this game against any team in this league. What kills them is interceptions and fumbles that'll get them another set of downs after they just score.
New York trailing by 8. Maxwell again the motion man. He's wide open. Touchdown. That's as easy as it gets. Garcia lobbing one up. Once again, Maxwell with the running start simply runs by the defender. Tawambi Settles. A touchdown pass of 17 yards. And with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter, once again, New York can cut the lead to 1 with a Clay Rush extra point.
Well, there you see Settles. Settles thinks that he's just going to give off and fall back inside. Instead, he gives a little sissy push on him and finds out, uh-oh, I've got this guy man-to-man. He thinks he's playing zone. Meanwhile, they're playing man-to-man.
Furry to hold. Rush to kick. No good. He missed it once again. So another missed extra point by Clay Rush, and now the Dragons find themselves trailing by 2, 34-32. Plenty of time. 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Jason Maxwell's having a heck of a night. His second touchdown of the game. Here's another look.
Garcia with the jump throw. He was so excited. He was so wide open. And that's now what you have here in the second half. You have Garcia being the athlete, knowing he's got to get loft on the ball. Maxwell catching the ball, second reception, 2 for touchdowns, and the extra point. A simple push of the ball. He kicked it 9 feet wide when you have to kick it 8 feet.
Time to go downstairs. Our sideline reporter, Carl Reuter, standing by. Carl?
You know, Bob, watching over the years, I was able to watch Jason Maxwell as a wide receiver when he played over right across the street for Joe Gardy. One of the reasons he's so good in this league, you got to remember, he came out of a run-and-shoot offense where they would spread 4 wide receivers on every single down. He had the likes of Gio Carmazzi throwing him the football, and I asked Jason all the time, how come you're not getting in there? He said, it's just a matter of me getting some time. You know what? He's getting his time, and he's showing that he's worthy. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Carl. Here comes Willis Marshall out of the end zone. A flag thrown on the return. He gets out to about the 14-yard line. Marshall was brought down by Doxson. We'll check the penalty in the area where you would imagine it would be holding on the return. And if so, that would drop New York, or rather drop Grand Rapids back inside their own 10-yard line. It is holding against the Rampage.
Holding on the receiving team, number 6, half the distance to the goal, 1st and 10, Grand Rapids.
Michael Baker called for holding. So New York, after that last touchdown, cutting the lead down to 2 with 1:19 to go here in the third quarter. The top of your screen there, number 6 is Baker. There's the hold.
Boy, I tell you, that's a tough one.
It's also well behind the return.
Yeah, it was behind the term. He must have thought that he really was holding him a lot more before the guy got by him. He must have just held him from the beginning, which we didn't see.
1st and 10 from the 3. Dolezal out of the end zone, flipping up the left side. Once again, it's the big guy, Chris Ryan. And he is very close to a first down, a gain of 9 yards.
Well, I'll tell you something. This guy, Ryan, 300 pounds. He's some athlete. Watch this guy. Slips out. Achibi's got him. He throws it over. It's almost like a one-handed grab by the big guy.
It was a nice throw and some soft hands as well, shown by Ryan.
Glenn Matthews put some pressure on there, but I'll tell you, this Ryan, he wishes he was a wide receiver.
He's acting like one. 2nd down and 1. Motion in the line, the play blown dead.
Certainly looked like the Dragons' defensive end moved. Was it Goldstein that moved?
And the Rampage believe it's against New York. This would be an automatic first down.
Size on the defense, number 50, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Eric Golston, the guilty party. 5-yard penalty and a first down for Grand Rapids. And tomorrow afternoon on MSG Network, you can catch hard-hitting Major League Lacrosse action as the Boston Cannons battle the New Jersey Pride. That's tomorrow afternoon. Matinee lacrosse at 4 o'clock on MSG. So a first down out to the 17-yard line. And that probably will do it for the third quarter. The clock is running. We're down to 10 seconds remaining in the third. And it seems as if Clint Dolezal is perfectly content to let the third quarter clock expire. He does exactly that. We have a heck of a game as we head to the fourth quarter. It's coming up, 34-32, Grand Rapids. We're back and we recap the third quarter, brought to you by Computer Associates, the software that manages e-business. And back and forth we went. Furry, a touchdown to open up the third. Rush missed the extra point. It was a 1-point game. Compton, Maxwell, Ryan, Maxwell. We alternate touchdowns, and we have a 2-point lead. The only reason we're not tied, Clay Rush missed extra points in the third quarter, costing New York. 1st and 10 for Grand Rapids. Incomplete on the near side. Compton, the intended receiver, but Dolezal underthrew him. Donvitas Franklin was right there in coverage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
That's the first pass Dolezal threw badly. I mean, that pass was just terrible. I know he wanted to throw it down and out because Franklin had a chance, but he really threw it low and behind him. Not bad. 24-29, 222 yards. Garcia, roughly speaking, the second half, 15-22. He was only 7-12 in the first half, so he's come on and he's spread it out to Maxwell, Furry, and Papin.
Most important number, though, both with 4 touchdown passes, and that's why we are just about in a tie football game. Dolezal with time. Compton up the left sideline, knocked out of bounds by Furry at the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5, and a big play upcoming for the Dragons defense.
Right. The second most important number for those quarterbacks is neither have interceptions. Once those interceptions start coming, boy, you can just Katie bar the door because you don't know what the score could be then.
Clint Dolezal in his 6th year out of East Texas State. Last week he was pulled at the end of the third quarter after throwing 3 touchdown passes, throwing for 136 yards. But he has answered this week on 3rd down, flipping one. Wide open is Compton to the 10, inside the 5, brought down at the 2. Turner from behind, saving a touchdown, or else Compton may have crabbed his way right into the end zone.
Boy, that was a tough play. Here you have Turner's in the box. Showers got his back turned because he's playing man-to-man.
And Donvitas Franklin missed a tackle in the middle of the field as well. So we get a wider look. Showers right there at the bottom of your screen. He's man-to-man on the deep receiver, and that freed Compton up underneath.
That's
Turner
a tough
brings
play.
him down at the 3.
Tough play to be a linebacker. Cannot leave that box.
1st and goal. Dozell, handoff to Compton. Reaching for the end zone, brought down at the 1. Shea Showers at the half-yard line brought him down. And there's a flag on the play. It'll be 2nd down and goal if the play stands. We'll have to check the penalty.
This looks like it may have been offsides by Shea Showers. Or illegal rushing or something.
Gene Hartlib is our referee.
Offsides on the defense. Number 9. Half the distance to the goal. Still 2nd down.
Donvitas Franklin was offsides. We'll take another look. Franklin lining up on the left side of your screen. And he jumped into the backfield. Half the distance to the goal penalty puts the ball inside the 2. 1st and goal from the 1.5-yard line. And with 12.5 to go here in the 4th quarter, inexplicably, Gene Hartlib stops play once again. I've noticed there haven't been enough of these in arena football. Officials' conferences. If they can up the number of those per game, everything would be great.
Well, they're the ones. I'll tell you what, it's better than not having a conference and having the referees say, hey, no, it was pass interference, and everyone knows it wasn't pass interference. At least these guys, they get together and they say, hey, maybe we made a mistake. Maybe that wasn't it. Maybe it was.
Wow, that's a far less bitter comment than I normally get out of you. Handoff, running inside, touchdown. Chris Ryan, another touchdown for the big fullback. And once again, Grand Rapids stretching it out to an 8-point lead. It's now 40-32 with 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Well, I tell you, that's just right here. It's a simple handoff. They get some movement. He goes in there and just buries his head. It's very tough to stop that guy on that type of thing. Because remember, you can only play head up on defense. You can't gamble. You can't game. You can blitz, but you can't twist or anything.
Goins' extra point is good. So on special teams in the 3rd quarter, the Dragons lose a couple of points. They now trail by 9. 41-32. Grand Rapids on top of New York. 11:33 to go in regulation time here at the Coliseum. Bob Wischusen, Greg Buttle, Carl Reuter on hand. Glad you could be with us. It's been a good one from the start. The Grand Rapids Rampage at 6-6 coming into tonight, battling for playoff position, and the New York Dragons at 2-10, just fighting for pride. 2 games left in this season, and they are fighting it out with the defending Arena Bowl champions. And with 11.5 to go, still very much of the football game. Steve Pappett is back deep to receive the kickoff from Brian Goins. High end-over-end kick. Pappin. It gets wedged in the bottom of the rebound net. Right in the grating. And that turns into a touchback, I believe. The ball will probably come out to the 5-yard line.
It is. What's better than that? No bounce off. Get it stuck right in there. Go to the 5-yard line. Tee it up. Let's go.
Can't do it any better if you're Brian Goins.
You know, it's so funny. You would think that this would happen more often. We've seen this happen twice. Once at the bottom and once at the top, where it just perfectly goes in there.
Just stuck right in the iron bar. 1st down for the Dragons at their own 5. Garcia from the end zone. Wants the home run ball for Ferry. Complete to the 2-yard line. How about a 43-yard pass right out of the the gate. First and goal for New York with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, 43-yard pass out of the gate, about 50 in the air from the line of scrimmage. He's 3 yards deep in the end zone, right down to the 5-yard line.
You might be looking at both the AFL Rookie of the Year and Iron Man of the Year in Mike Furry. He might take home both awards.
Well, can you imagine that on a 2-10 team?
He's been tremendous this year. First and goal for New York from the 2 with 10.5 to go in regulation time. Garcia, handoff, Rodney Filer, touchdown. A lightning quick 2-play scoring drive.
Do not blink because you missed it.
And now the spotlight switches back to Clay Rush. Will attempt the extra point after a rough third quarter. Rodney Filer's 3rd touchdown of the season. He goes over from 2 yards out, and the Dragons are back to within 3 once again. And they could cut it to 2.
And that time Rodney Filer did the right thing. He cut it back as the offensive line was pushing the defensive line to the left. All he's got to do is cut it back. He's got one guy to beat.
Clay Rush with the extra point. This time he's perfect. Every time the Grand Rapids Rampage tonight, Greg, have scored a big touchdown, the Dragons have answered right back. And for a 2-10 team facing the defending champs, give them some credit. They are fighting in this game as if they were fighting for a playoff spot.
That's right. And Garcia, he's throwing the ball at one pass, 43 yards. I mean, he's airing it out. He's not doing what I said. Go throw him for 10 yards, 12 yards, 15 yards. He's throwing him for 43 yards. He's had 3 of those this half.
And it seems to me that in the second half, whatever was said in the locker room to the offensive line by John Gregory and the Dragons coaching staff has gotten through, because the pass protection in the second half has been much more effective for Aaron Garcia. He's thrown 3 bombs here in the second half. One was incomplete, but one went for a touchdown, and one right there to Mike Furry set up a touchdown. He didn't have time in the first half to throw any of those type of passes. Obviously, you need pass protection to allow the wide receiver to clear and get that far down the field, and they have bought him the time he's needed.
He did, and I think they went in there and they took a look and said, what is that secondary doing to us? And they're saying, hey, listen, we can beat these guys right down the middle. We missed a couple of them in the first half.
Clay Rush the kickoff. Kenyatte Morgan takes it off the end zone net, out to the 5. Turned back at the 12-yard line. Rodney Filer, he scored the touchdown, and he makes the stop on special teams. And the New York Islanders season tickets are now on sale. Great seats are going fast, and they are sold on a first-come, first-served basis. Season ticket benefits for the 2002-2003 season include guaranteed same seats for all regular season and playoff games. Great savings off box office prices. Exclusive meet and greet occasions with the Islanders team. An opportunity to purchase additional seats before the general public does. Great savings off Islander merchandise and much, much more. Lock up your seats now and be there for all the action. Islanders hockey is back. Is it ever? Call 1-800-882-ISLES, extension 1, to receive your 2003 season tickets today. What a year Alexei Yashin and the New York Islanders had.
No, they did pretty good, you know, and it's in, what has it been, 10 years?
Yeah, they have instantaneously become one of the more exciting teams in the NHL. And if Michael Pekka can somehow find a way in the second half of the season to come back off that injury, of course, wrecked his knee when Darcy Tucker undercut him in the playoffs. And forever, Darcy Tucker, every time he comes into this building, I'm sure is going to hear it from Islander fans, but he's going to miss the first half of next season. Dozel out of the end zone to the near side, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Michael Baker. Coming up on 8.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And the Dragons defense needs to stop.
Yeah, this 2-10 Dragons team think they're in the football game and they got a chance to win it. I love it. They're playing great defensively today. Simple play, Showers is on the ball. Showers been there all day. He just had an interception slip through his hand in the end of the first half.
There was a 5-yard penalty against Grand Rapids on the kickoff, so it's 2nd down and 15 from the 7. Dozel dropping out of the end zone. Out to the 20-yard line, a sliding, diving catch made by Terrell Shaw. He's about a yard shy of a first down, but this is a great catch by Shaw.
Boy, great catch, and what a nice throw. He led him perfectly. He didn't, right in his hands. It's almost like he says, I know where your hands are going to be. He really didn't have to reach for the ball or anything. Good pass and catch.
3rd down and a yard. We are in crunch time at the Coliseum. 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Grand Rapids with a 2-point lead over New York. Big play for the New York defense. The pitch out, running left, Travis McDonald stays on his feet, picks up the 1st down, and gets into Dragons territory. Brought down by Donvitas Franklin. Nate Bell in on the tackle as well, but about 6 yards on that carry for Travis McDonald, good enough for a 1st down.
You know, in this league, you can't make hay with a running game, but if you mix up your running game well with your passing game, you can catch a team by surprise. And not that was going to score a touchdown, but it gets the defense thinking a little, and you don't want them thinking. You just want them to react.
1st and 10 at the New York 23. Pump fake, Dozell wide open as Baker, touchdown. The pump fake froze the New York secondary, and Michael Baker was all alone in the end zone.
Boy, and Dozell knew it. That play was called. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was going to pump fake, and now both of the guys, I think Showers and Donvitas Franklin, jumped him. I think that's who it was. I couldn't tell for sure. Here we go. No, it wasn't Donvitas Franklin.
Chris Clopton made the mistake for New York. He was the wide man, the defensive specialist.
Right.
And his responsibility was Michael Baker. He bit on the pump fake, jumped up, and Baker was wide open.
That's right. Another young guy that hasn't been around for a long time.
Extra point is good. Brian Goins has been solid tonight. And the Rampage open up a 9-point lead once again with 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Bob Wischusen, Greg Buttle, and Carl Reuter back here at the Nassau Coliseum. 5:57 to go in the 4th quarter. Boy, every time, Greg, the New York Dragons have had an answer for Grand Rapids, they've always come back and stretched the lead back out with a touchdown drive of their own.
Well, that's good. And that's not good. But the good thing is the Dragons, on their own behalf, they come right back and they make a score. So that's what this game is all about, not making mistakes and coming back to be able to score, to stay in the game towards the end.
Wobbly kick that goes into the end zone, out of bounds in the end zone, so it certainly serves the purpose. Brian Goins keeps the ball away from Steve Pappen and creates a touchback.
Yeah, now that one doesn't come to the 5-yard line, does it? It went out of bounds, I thought.
It's coming out to the 5-yard line.
Jeez,
tough field position for New York with 5:52 to go.
Oh, geez, I don't know how that happened there.
And we invite you to come and join the excitement at the Light Path Long Island Classic, New York's only senior PGA Tour golf event, returning to the Meadowbrook Club July 29th through August 4th. Don't miss a full field of 78 senior tour pros competing for over $1 million. Call Ticketmaster at 212-307-7171. Happen can't bring in that Aaron Garcia pass at the 15. That sets up 2nd down at 10.
You see Garcia here, 16 of 23, 191 yards, 40s, and 0 interceptions. And he's had a problem with interceptions over the last 3 weeks.
Injured player on the field is Israel Raybon, the rookie out of North Alabama, who has played well tonight. This gives New York a chance to catch their breath, and Aaron Garcia an opportunity to talk a bit with John Gregory about exactly what he wants to do. Seemed to be checking the knee of Raybon.
Looks like he probably got a helmet on his knee or something.
And we get another look at the right side of your screen. Big number 93. Cut down by Chinachibi, and immediately starts to favor that knee.
Yeah, that's because, you know, when Chibi hit him, his toe was still in the turf, and that hyperextends your knee. It just doesn't give away like it would on grass. That's why everyone loves grass, because your toes can be down there, but the grass will give off of your toe. Although, you know, when they've done studies forever about the difference between grass and turf, and somehow they come up and they say there's no difference between grass or turf. You ask any player, man, turf is different. Turf is very different.
Occasionally, you see a non-contact injury on a natural surface occasionally, but it seems much more that the serious non-contact injuries, and even some of the contact injuries, you're right, where a player just seems to get stuck in the turf. It's a playing surface that every professional athlete would certainly eliminate if they could, but I mean, obviously arena football, it's an indoor league, so there's no choice but to play on artificial surfaces.
That's true, but you know what, in all the years that I've played, I don't ever remember seeing a non-contact injury on grass where a guy all of a sudden his knee blew out running on the grass. I've never seen that.
I'll give you two.
Go ahead.
Quick ones. Dan Marino's Achilles went out in Cleveland.
Has nothing to do with turf or grass.
I agree.
It's just that his Achilles is ready to go.
And Vinny Testaverde's injury.
Same thing.
A couple of years ago for the Jets.
Achilles tendon. That has nothing to do with turf. I mean, when you're backpedaling, there's no grabbing, there's no nothing. It just, your Achilles tendon is ready to just pop. It's just, it must be at that strained point. But you talk about any other injuries, I'll show you injuries to your toes, your ankles, your elbows, your joints, your fingers. You know, tremendous stuff that happens on the turf that just doesn't happen on the grass.
Israel Raybon makes it to the Grand Rapids bench. 5 minutes to go now in regulation time. New York trailing by 9, 48-39. Second down and 10 at their own 5-yard line. Garcia from the end zone, buying some time. He'll take it himself up the right sideline. He has all kinds of room to midfield. Cuts it back at the 19-yard line and is brought down. Jason Waters tackling Aaron Garcia, but not before Garcia picked up 26 yards at a first down.
Watch this right side, 69. Watch this, a hold. We get away over here, down here with a hold, a little body slam. Garcia gets away with a body slam and goes down the sidelines. Most 2 and 10s don't get away with that.
1st and 10 for New York at the 19-yard line of the Rampage. 4:15 to go in the fourth quarter. The Dragons trail by 2 scores. They have all 3 timeouts. Garcia looking end zone. Doxson, touchdown. A quick strike from Garcia, his 5th touchdown pass of the game. And with 4 minutes to go, it's a 1-score game again.
Boy, we said it coming out of the second half. Garcia's got to get hot. He's got to mix it up. So far, he went from Pampin and Fury to Pampin, Fury, Maxwell Turner, Maxwell Filer, Doxson. He's got them all. He's hitting them all. Wide open. Just another blown coverage.
It's a 3-point game. Clay Rush on to try and make it a 2-point game. As Garcia celebrates touchdown pass number 5. Furry the holder puts it down. Again, Clay Rush misses wide left. That time it seemed as if Furry had some problems handling the snap and getting the placement down. I'm not sure we've seen Clay Rush miss this many extra points all season, as he's missed already in the second half tonight. 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter, and the Dragons trail by 3, 48-45.
Here it is. Simple setup. No one's rushing. You know what he did? He went after it quicker than he normally does. He went after that ball, trying to hit a 5-iron instead of hitting that little pitching wedge through the uprights.
Clay Rush is having a kicker of the year type season, but stumbling down the stretch, and his 3 missed extra points here in the second half, the difference. It's a 3-point game with 3:27 to go. As we get another look at the touchdown, Todd Doxson taking the Garcia pass.
Good pass blocking, you notice. Doxson right down there. Keeps a good eye on the ball. Those are easy to drop when you're wide open. You may just take your eye off the ball, but Doxson had it up there, hauled it in for an easy touchdown.
Doxson has at least 1 touchdown catch in his last 5 games overall. And now problems on the kickoff. That ball's loose. It's a free football in the end zone, and it's finally covered up for a touchback by Grand Rapids. Johnny on the spot was Michael Baker. That is always the possibility with the rebound net in arena football, Craig, is you could get a funny bounce and get a free touchdown.
And the funny part here, Bob, is knowing that as that ball comes off, he's waiting for it. He does this every single day in practice. They catch him off the screens. And if he can't time it, can you imagine trying to do that yourself?
No.
That's got to be so difficult, really, in trying to get it. That's what makes this part of this game so fascinating. Kickoffs, every kickoff is a different play.
Well, now the job falls to the Dragons defense. The quick out. Michael Baker makes the catch out close to the 15-yard line. Brought down by Donvitas Franklin. That should be good enough for a first down, though, with 2:45 to go in the fourth quarter. The Dragons defense, with New York trailing by 3, they need to stop, or at the very least to just force a field goal. A touchdown will end this football game.
Well, I'm not so sure a touchdown would end the football game, but a turnover would certainly put a different light on what this score could be. And there have been no turnovers yet to 2:20 in the fourth quarter.
We're a minute 20 seconds away from stoppage time as well. Doles out into the slot. Makes connection with Terrell Shaw. Gain of about 7 yards, maybe 8. It'll be second down and 2. Again, the Dragons have all 3 of their timeouts remaining as we close in on the 2-minute mark. And again, once we get down to 1 minute to go, we will play stoppage time the rest of the way.
You know, it's amazing in the NFL how you could have a team that some coaches coach so conservatively that by the end of the third quarter, the teams are already in there. Don't do anything wrong mode and we're going to win this game. Not in the AFL here. You cannot do that.
The quick pitch to Chris Ryan, diving forward, good enough for a first down. That certainly accomplishes all that Grand Rapids would need at this point. Keep the clock moving, move the chains, 1st and 10 inside New York territory at the 24-yard line.
That's correct. Inside 1 minute, they have to get positive yardage to have the clock run. If they do not, the clock will stop.
Well, here I'm sure Dolezal and the head coach Michael Trigg will opt to just let the clock run down to the 1-minute warning.
It's right on the same time, right?
The play clock and the game clock are almost exactly in sync where that's concerned, and they let it run down to the 1-minute warning without being forced to take a timeout or being forced to be hit with a delay of game penalty either. So now we play stoppage time in the last minute. On first downs, to move the chains, the clock stops. Incompletions, the clock stops. Any out of bounds play, penalties, whatever would normally stop the clock in an NFL or a college game, will stop the clock now the rest of the way, which makes for an exciting last minute. Greg, can get a lot of plays off in the last 60 seconds.
You sure can, and we've seen about 3 or 4 touchdowns scored within a minute.
Bottom line, though, is New York needs to stop with 1 minute to go. Baker, the motion man, pump fake from Dolezal, flipping it out to the right, throwing it away. It'll be second down and 10 with 54.6 seconds to go.
Clint is looking like he was saying, hey, we were held that time. Even so, he did the right thing. He threw it out.
Well, turnover here would be the worst possible scenario for Grand Rapids. If they don't turn the football over, they may be able to hang on to it, just run out the rest of the game. Dolezal dropping on second down. Quickly, right side, the pass caught by Baker. That's good enough for a first down to the 12-yard line of New York.
That's one of those special Dolezal's passes, boy. He just laid it out in front of him. Just a nice touch. All he had to do was run and keep passing. No one could get that except the wide receiver.
So the chains will move. That stops the clock momentarily. But in order for the Dragons to keep the clock stopped, they'll have to spend a timeout right now. Let's see if they decide to do so. I would have to think they would. And the Dragons do spend a timeout. They want to reset the clock to 50 seconds. And they do so. Check that. The Dragons did not spend a timeout. And now they actually do decide to call a timeout. So, after all is said and done, the clock stopped with 50 seconds to go. The Dragons call a timeout. They have 2 remaining. But bottom line here is, Greg, if Grand Rapids runs a couple of more plays, forcing New York to call their timeouts, if anything other than a field goal attempt occurs on this drive for Grand Rapids, then the Dragons are not going to be left enough time. It'll be a 2-possession game. And those extra point misses right now are looming so large.
No, they are large. And you know what? You can go back on the first extra point he missed and said, uh-oh. You know, those extra points, they're tough. And they always make a difference no matter what game you're playing. It's like foul shooting in the NBA. extra points in the NFL. The same stuff. They're so difficult to get back. You never know when you're going to get one.
48-45, Grand Rapids on top. Clay Rush, who has been at times the MVP for this team this season for the New York Dragons.
They may need Clay Rush to come kick a field goal to tie the game.
He needs to, you're right, gather himself. You never know. You get a turnover here in the final moments. John Gregory may call on him, and that's exactly what he might be going over to tell him. Nope, he's actually telling him to get out of my spot on the bench. Handoff to Ryan. Gain of about 3 yards. New York, one would think, would have to call another timeout. 42 seconds to go. And finally, they do whistle the clock dead with 40.5 seconds to go.
That play took 10 seconds. You know, it may have appeared that he looked like he went out of bounds, but as he was going down, his knee was hitting first. So it doesn't matter where the ball ends up out of bounds. He did land inbounds. And of course, positive yards keeps that clock going for him. Therefore, the Dragons had to.
And that's actually what John Gregory is asking the officials. He's actually, if you can read his lips, he's saying out of bounds. He thought that Chris Ryan also went out of bounds. So while we have a moment, we'd like to remind you that you can visit msgnetwork.com for all the latest on your favorite teams. Find exclusive articles and insider info as well from those who know New York sports best. All your favorite personalities have articles up on msgnetwork.com. Message boards, opinion polls, a lot of ways for you to interact. msgnetwork.com. This is our town.
Let's see if he goes out of bounds here. Now here's the low. Let's watch his knee. Let's watch his knee down. No, not even
stayed in
close.
bounds by a foot or two. 40.5 seconds to go. Second down and 7. Dolezal hands off once again to Ryan. Into the line, picks up maybe another 3 yards. Down to the 5-yard line. New York very quick to spend their last time out. Stops the clock with 34.5 seconds to go, and it all comes down to this, Greg. It'll be 3rd down and 4. And if either a touchdown is scored here by Grand Rapids or they pick up a first down, New York, without any timeouts left, that would pretty much end the game.
The game is over anyway, because once the clock starts and they gain a yard, it's going to be all over. Although there's a 25-second clock, it will take them probably 7 seconds anyway, 8 seconds to stop everybody, get them back to the line of scrimmage, and then they'll start the clock. They'll keep the clock going. They're going to end up. This could be the last play. That's why, if a fumble's caused, you got a big deal. Grab the ball, get in there, grab the ball, kick, bite, pull a Mike Tyson.
Well, we'll see what the differential is, play clock to game clock after this play. I would think, though, the logical option for Grand Rapids would be to allow the clock to run all the way down should they run a running play and come up short. As we take a look at Clint Dolezal's numbers tonight, he has really been efficient. 31 of 38 for over 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Bottom line, though, the Dragons have to get a stop here.
I throw the ball.
Dolezal, handoff, Ryan into the line. He picks up a first down. Does not get into the end zone, but gets down to the 1. Good enough for a first down, and that will do it. You have to pick up positive yardage for the clock to move at all.
They have to run.
And they will have to run one more play. 23 seconds to go on the play clock, 25 on the game clock. Bottom line there, the Dragons had to avoid giving up the first down and force a field goal attempt.
And here
that was their only chance.
And here they can take a knee. It doesn't matter. Wait to the last second and take a knee.
You have to pick up positive yardage for the clock to continue to move, but it's only about a second differential. Handoff to Ryan, and instead they do it in style. Touchdown. A rushing touchdown for Chris Ryan. 3.2 seconds to go, and that officially will do it. As Grand Rapids is going to come away with a win. They're going to go 7-6 on the season. And New York, in spite of fighting very hard in this game, is going to drop to 2-11 on the year.
Yeah, 2-11 with a team that's had so many ups and downs, so many injuries, so many replacements, new guys. Real simple. This is the simple play here. Everyone's hoping that they're going to run it inside. Instead, they run it outside, and that's what hurt.
Well, what that also is, Greg, is just in the overall a textbook example of how a defending championship team gets the ball at their own 10-yard line, understanding that there's 2.5 minutes to go in the game, and doing whatever they need to just methodically move the football down the field, end up with points, but more importantly, they knew how to run out the last 2.5 minutes.
That's a very good point, that they did know how to run out those 2 minutes.
I mean, regardless of whether they got in the end zone there or not, they were going to end the game based purely on the clock. You know, once they picked up that first down, the game was over, and that was a pretty methodical drive.
Well, that's a good football team. They need a little help defensively, or else they're not going to make it through the playoffs, but they've got a good quarterback, an excellent offensive line. They've got some good athletes on defense, and they have a very good pass rush. You get that all going for them, and the fact that they were defending champs last year, you may have an opportunity.
And the job for John Gregory during the offseason is to have Aaron Garcia come back, of course, and to simply reload and regroup. And the Rampage, rather than go after an extra point there, they decided to take a knee on the 2-point conversion, and that will set up a kickoff. That will be the last play of the game. I think the idea there, Greg, is if you get a blocked extra point, you could conceivably run it back for 2 points in the opposite direction, which would make the score 54-47. That would make it a 7-point game. And therefore, on the kickoff, if the Dragons ran it back for a touchdown, they could conceivably tie the game. The only way the Dragons could still tie the football game is if they came up with 2 points and a blocked extra point and went the other way. Instead, by taking a knee and surrendering a 2-point conversion, they guarantee that the kickoff is the last play of the game, and mathematically, there's no way that the Dragons can actually score 9 points on one play.
That's precisely correct.
Thank you.
Whatever you just said is precisely correct. And if you can imagine that they all thought about that down there, that's exactly
think they did.
They did.
Why else would you take a knee in a 2-point conversion?
You would. That's actually, they were going to take a knee on the extra point.
Whatever.
That's correct.
The idea of take a knee.
And you know
if
this.
Somehow the kick gets blocked. You run it back for 2. It cuts the lead to 7. Then you could still tie the game on the kickoff.
That's correct. They don't care if it gets run back, but you're not going to necessarily see that happen.
Final play of the game, Steve Pappen will bring it out. Clock is not running. Now it starts to run as Pappen stutter steps to the 10, gets to the 15, reverses his field to the 20, and is tripped up by the kicker, Brian Goins, at midfield, and that will do it. The final score, 54-45. Grand Rapids comes into the Nassau Coliseum and sends the New York Dragons to their 11th loss of the season. They are now 2-11 on the year. And it has been some kind of tough year for New York. That is their 7th consecutive loss. We'll come back and wrap things up here on Fox Sports Net on Unhappy John Gregory. Our recap of the fourth quarter brought to you by Computer Associates, the software that manages e-business. Chris Ryan opened the scoring in the fourth quarter and closed the scoring in the fourth quarter. A pair of touchdown runs sandwiched around a Rodney Filer touchdown. Todd Doxson, a 19-yard touchdown catch, both trying to keep the Dragons close in the fourth quarter, but it was not to be. 54-45 is the final. And the man with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter is standing by with our Carl Reuter downstairs as we speak. Carl?
That's right, Bob. I'll tell you, Chris Ryan is a big guy, and he also came up big in the fourth quarter, as you mentioned. This was a team that didn't quit, and every time you guys scored, they came right back at you. What's the difference there? And Clay Rush misses those extra points. Is that the difference in this football game in your mind?
Most definitely. That's the biggest downfall for them, but upgrade for us. You know, so I mean, I hate to hit and miss them, but you know, that's the name of football.
Chris, they didn't play like a team that had come in here with a 2-10 record, did they?
No, sir. We didn't expect them to come in here playing like 2-10. We expect them to come like they was undefeated, fighting for a championship spot, and that's exactly what the mentality we came in the game with.
What about the touchdowns that you scored in this football game now? Talk us through them.
I have to give credit to my line because they got on some great blocks, and I read the hole, and I just got in.
How does your team right now feel? You know, you had one more game left, but how do you guys feel you are right now?
We struggling with a lot of injuries right now, but we still are the defending champs. And we got on the back of our shirts, come and take it, and they're going to have to come and take it. We might have to travel in the playoffs on the road, but we still defending champs.
Until somebody beats you, you are the champs. Chris Ryan, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, I'll tell you right now, I know you're standing next to a big guy, Bob, and Greg Buttle, but this guy, I think he's bigger than Greg.
I would hope for Greg's sake. Thanks a lot, Carl Reuter. Downstairs again, Greg, the final 54-45 Grand Rapids over the Dragons. A final thought from you before we close out tonight. The Dragons do drop to 2-11, but Carl put it well. They didn't play like a 2-11 football team tonight.
Well, no, but first thing I want to mention is this guy, Ryan, that was just on with Carl. Now, that's a gentleman. I mean, that's what that whole team is about, that guy. Give credit to your teammates. That's a true champion. Talking about his teammates, talking about how good the Dragons really played, and knowing the difference was 3 extra points, and not saying that, yeah, we would have whipped them big time somewhere else. The Dragons, on the other hand, they did play good, but again, this is that 2-10 syndrome. You go in there, and no matter how well you play, somehow you're going to lose the game.
Well, you can join us for our final regular season Dragons telecast next Thursday on Metro TV. The Dragons travel to Toronto to face the Phantoms. Game time is 7 o'clock on Thursday, again on Metro TV. And coming up next year on Fox Sports Net, a special edition of the best damn sports show, period. Our producer for Dragons football, Kyle Carney. The director down in the truck, Tom Meberg. Our graphics coordinator is Jason Christian. I'm Bob Wischusen for Greg Buttle and Carl Reuter. Again, the final, 54-45. The Grand Rapids Rampage come to New York and get a win over the New York Dragons. We'll see you Thursday night.